It's a simplification of back-end reconciliations. Drivers can find the nearest fuel station right on the app's fuel map or even filter locations based on their preferred merchant or fuel type. It's seamless. Just a quick enter of the pump number and you're ready to fuel up. Car IQ Pay generates an automatic virtual receipt that enters into a single transaction ledger, giving fleet operators a complete simplified view of their total spend. What's even more, Car IQ Pay gathers vehicle data to give fleets complete transparency into their fleet, from route behavior to overall share of wallet. Car IQ, the better way for fleets to pay. Find out more at gocariq.com.
Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission is to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. If you have any questions, please call Indy Metal Finishing today at 317-858-5353. Find them online at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Indy Metal Finishing, or visit their website at indymetalfinishing.com.
Every lap, every race, every bit of paint traded for every hard-fought place. Every checkered flag and trophy raised. Every ounce of dirt, sweat, and gears. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com, serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Hi, I'm Genevieve Malone, and we're here at Kokomo Speedway for NOS Energy Drink Midget Week. And for today, we're going to be doing our cookout shake of the race for Days and Pursley. And today I have
Brody.
And what do you think his favorite shake is?
Took a minute to think about it. I think I'm going to go with a good old peanut butter banana.
Okay, let's see if that's Dayson's favorite shake.
My favorite cookout shake flavor is Oreo.
That is not his favorite shake, but that is Justin Grant. So you were kind of close. But to check out Cookout, you can go to cookout.com to find their nearest location.
Welcome back to the broadcast here on FloRacing, coming to you live from Kokomo Speedway. It is the finale of Indiana Midget Week. Kind of an interesting situation coming into tonight's racing action, as Mother Nature has intervened several times this week, and that puts 17 drivers all within striking distance, as Drake alluded to earlier in his interview, within striking distance of that $15,000 payday. And to kind of open up on a little bit of that and explain a little bit more of what's going on, let's check in with Drake York.
Thank you so much, Brian. Not how we envisioned to end up at the final night of Indiana Midget Week, but we're here at the Kokomo Speedway. Mother Nature has not been our friend this week, as you alluded to. Quite a few races over the course of Indiana Midget Week getting rained out. So think back to 20 years, back to 2005 when we only had 3 rounds of Indiana Midget Week. Well, we're throwing it back in some ways to 2005. Hello, race fans. Welcome once again to the Kokomo Speedway, Indiana's baddest bull ring, for the finale of the 2025 Indiana Midget Week, featuring the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship. Well, let's do some housekeeping here, and let's take a look at our season-long NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget points coming into the finale of Indiana Midget Week. And once again, these are the season-long points that will go all the way down to the wire, hopefully, at Ventura Raceway for the Turkey Night Grand Prix. Justin Grant, after that elusive Triple Crown Championship, leads away for that title, more specifically the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship with 506 points. Cale Drake, 34 behind. After the last round at Paragon Speedway, even though they finished a spot apart, Justin Grant was able to pull away by 4 points. Ken McIntosh is third, Jacob Denny fourth, Logan Seavey rounding out the top 5. Kevin Thomas Jr., Steven Snyder Jr. is 7th, Gavin Miller 8th, Drake Edwards 9th, and Gunnar Setzer bumped his way into the top 10 after the round at Paragon Speedway. Now what we're really here to decide tonight, let's take a look at our Indiana Midget Week points heading into the third and final round of the 2025 edition here tonight at the Kokomo Speedway. Cale Drake leads the way by 150 points. Justin Grant looming large back in the second spot. He is just 9 behind. Carter Sarf with a really impressive Midget Week. He, of course, along with all the other drivers all the way back to 7th in points, still in contention. Kevin Thomas Jr. is 4th, 20 behind. Jacob Denny rounding out the top 5, 26 behind. It's Logan C.B., Hayden Reinbold, Cannon McIntosh, Thomas Meserol, and Zach Weigel. And as we always do here on the USAC on Flow broadcast, let's take a look at our Dirt Draft Driver v Driver match up for the night, rather. Of course, not getting able to get our round in at the Bloomington Speedway, so Steven Snyder Jr. will get the chance to go again. Tonight, his opposition is Drake Edwards. Drake Edwards is the first one we'll talk about. He's on the left-hand side of your screen at USAC Driver 1. He's got Justin Grant, Carter Sarf, Thomas Meserol, Ethan Mitchell, and Jacob Boxel. Once again, you can find him post-race in the public lobby at USAC Driver 1. Steven Snyder Jr. to the right, he's at USAC Driver 2. He's got Dason Persley, himself, Drake Edwards, Corbin Rischenberg, and Jacob Boxel. And remember, you can look and see how you did comparatively to the USAC drivers in the public lobby. Just search up USAC Driver, and both of them should come up, and you can see how you did compared to them. Let's take a look at a run of show tonight for the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship here at Indiana's baddest bull ring, Kokomo Speedway. Behind me on the speedway right now, engine heat for both the Kokomo Sprint cars and the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship. Just strictly looking at the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midgets, we'll go into our dirt draft high laps and Honest Abe Roofing qualifying 4-heat format tonight. Top 5 lock into the feature straight out of the heat races. 6 on back, we'll go to the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Kart semi-feature, and that is where we will find out our final 4 starters in tonight's feature event. From there, it is 30 laps to decide tonight's winner here at Kokomo Speedway, and more importantly, your 2025 Indiana Midget Week champion. And it can't go unnoticed, Brian, before we get into the night here at Kokomo Speedway. A heck of an effort by the Kokomo Speedway crew. They received all sorts of rain last night, about 1.25 inch rain around the Kokomo-Tipton area last night, and then some additional rain here today. And we were sitting around here earlier, just before noon, here local time in Kokomo. We weren't even sure if we were going to get the tractors on the racetrack to even try to work the racetrack in. Well, here we are. We got cars rolling around the speedway. It's going to be a great night of racing. And by the end of it, we'll find out who's our Indiana Midget Week champion for 2025.
Thank you very much. In the meantime, you do have plenty of opportunities to go down to the USAC merchandise trailer, as Indiana Midget Week t-shirts are well in stock. Make sure you get down there where your size, color, and design is still available. Of course, all the 2025 race day must-have gear is available while supplies last down at the USAC merchandise trailer. That is located just behind the main entrance to the grandstands. Several drivers also with merchandise available down behind the grandstands, along with those that do keep all their merchandise down in the trailer post-race. Jacob Denny, Dason Persley, Kevin Thomas Jr., C.J. Leary, Jake Swanson, Logan Seavey, Mitchell Moles, Justin Grant, Cale Drake, Cale Coons, Thomas Meserol. Those are some of the merchandise trailers that are set up back behind the main grandstands. Talking about drivers that sometimes have their merchandise down in the trailers. Of course, Keith Coons Motorsports with their merchandise typically down at the trailer. Sometimes you'll have them back up behind the grandstands. But check it out. Looks like CJ's rocking a Colton Robinson t-shirt here. So that's one to go down and grab while supplies last. Well, race fans, it may be the finale of Indiana Midget Week, but that means you still have time to fire up your fantasy lineup on Dirt Draft. Whether you're trackside or watching on FloRacing, you can now create your own Midget Week League. Go head-to-head with your friends, your crew, or even the guy in turn 4 who just thinks he knows everything about midget racing, just so you can prove him wrong. Let Make sure that every race counts, every pick matters, and at the end of the week, well, somebody, once the checker flag drops tonight, is going to walk away with bragging rights as the 2025 Indiana Midget Week Fantasy Champion. Get this, new subscribers also score a free USAC t-shirt just for signing up. That's right, sign up, get a turd, get a t-shirt, and win some glory. So what are you waiting for? Download the Dirt Draft app or go to dirtdraft.com now. Draft your drivers, build your leagues, and claim your t-shirt and see who really knows their midgets. Cars continuing to make their way out to the racing surface for a little bit of engine heat and some finishing up on wheel pack here. Why choose AMSOIL synthetic lubricants? Well, 3 reasons: power, performance, and protection. They design specialized lubricants engineered for what you drive and how you drive. Visit AMSOIL.com to learn more. Also back among the t-shirts, you can find NOS Energy Drink. Fire up and never look back. NOS Energy is human horsepower. Try one today and follow them on social media at NOS Energy Drink. Make sure and stop by and grab a complimentary can before you leave here today. Throughout the 2025 season, you can be part of the action with a chance to win with Play USAC, offering you, the fans, ways to put money on your favorite drivers with top sports books and daily fantasy providers, offering odds and exclusive sign-up offers for USAC racing fans. There's never been a better time to give it a try. Go to nxtbets.com/playusac for more information or scan the code on the broadcast to see what's available in your state. Void where prohibited, must be 21 years or older to participate. If you find yourself in the throes of addiction, you can find help at 1-800-GAMBLER. Odds provided to USAC by NXT Bets. They put Justin Grant as the odds-on favorite at plus 360. A little bit further down the line, Steven Snyder Jr. at a 1043. Carter Sarf a little more over the long shot at 3168. So again, those odds provided to USAC by NXT Bets. Racing Electronics has over 30 years of experience and serves every major form of auto racing. Don't forget to bring your scanner the next time you're at a USAC national event, as all of our broadcast audio is available on frequency 454.5000. Learn more and shop Racing Electronics by calling 1-800-272-7111 or go online to racingelectronics.com. Cookout presents always frozen, Cookout presents always fresh, never frozen burgers, barbecue, hot dogs, all cooked fresh every day. And get this, over 40 different flavors of shakes, all prepared fresh and made by hand every day. It's all yours. Find a Cookout location near you. Visit cookout.com. Sunoco is the official race fuel of USAC Racing. As the world's largest manufacturer of racing fuels, Sunoco has been the standard in motorsports for over 50 years. Known for innovation, consistency, and high performance, Sunoco Fuels has been the choice of racers in virtually every form of motorsports, from grassroots tracks to premier international series. Committed to supporting the racing community, Sunoco powers champions and fuels unforgettable moments at the track. CarIQ has created a payment solution aimed at fleets that allows cars and trucks to connect to gas pumps and pay for fuel without the need of a fuel card or a credit card. CarIQ Payment Solutions, CarIQ Pay, replaces fleet card products and protects against fraud while significantly reducing back-office vehicle reconciliation. Learn more at gocariq.com today. Hoosier Racing Tires' mission is to be the dominant, customer-driven provider of racing tires to teams domestically and internationally. Their existence and continued success are dependent upon how well they meet their responsibilities to serve their customers by providing safe, quality products to amateur and professional motorsports teams. For more information on the tires designed for champions, go online to HoosierTire.com. Indy Metal Finishing is the official sponsor of the USAC work area. Indy Metal Finishing is a family-owned and operated business with 30 years of experience in the industry. Their mission to support their customers with an exceptional level of quality and service. Conveniently located only minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Indy Metal Finishing offers Type 2 and Type 3 anodizing chemical conversions, passivation, and electroless nickel services to motorsports, medical, military, aerospace, and manufacturing industries. Indy Metal Finishing is ISO certified and holds an FFL license. Visit them online at indymetalfinishing.com for more information. Whether you're running a go-kart, a micro, midget, modified, sprint car, late model, silver crown, or even a tractor, Rod & Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will keep you at the front of the field and performing to your maximum potential. Since 1989, Rod & Supply has provided superior products priced competitively with prompt and courteous service. Their promise to continue to provide that same superior service with superior products that keep you at the front of the field. Remember, they don't just sell them, they race them. Visit rodsupply.com for more information. K1 Race Gear was born in 2003 with a philosophy of offering products to customers that they would be proud to use. At K1 Race Gear, they are racers and they understand the value of buying quality racing products at a reasonable price. To meet the needs of their customers, they strive to provide quality racing equipment, including shoes, suits, driving gloves, helmets, and more to racers of all ages at a great value. Whether your son or daughter is just starting out in the sport or you have a lifelong passion for racing, they have the product for you. Go online to shop at k1racegear.com. The official fire prevention solution of USAC Racing is Inferno Armor. Created for the motorsports industry and now used in many applications, Inferno Armor quickly and easily makes fabrics fire retardant and heat resistant. Inferno Armor can be used on any fabric to reduce the spread of fire and effectively block the transmission of conductive and radiant heat. Simply put, it's high-performance fire protection in a convenient spray. Inferno Armor presents the fire move of the night in all 3 USAC national divisions throughout the 2025 season, where they award the driver that puts on a fire of a show a complimentary bottle of Inferno Armor. Also, when you stop down at the USAC merchandise trailer, not only can you get that Indiana Midget Week t-shirt, but also you can get a roster of tonight's entrants. Numbers, names, hometown sponsors, and even facts and information about tonight's racing program. Again, that's available at the USAC merchandise trailer for $1 while supplies last. You can also find USAC Racing online at usacracing.com. You can also find us on Facebook by searching USAC Racing, on X and Instagram at USAC Nation. Live timing and scoring available on the Race Monitor app. Quick reminder, anything you see on Race Monitor as well as posted to social media is unofficial. Jake Dalton, the voice of Kokomo, joining me up here in the booth. And, of course, sprint cars out on the racetrack right now. They will have a chance to hot lap as well as group qualify before we bring out the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. And for a lot of these drivers, this is also a tune-up, as we'll have SmackDown coming up before we know it.
SmackDown going to be coming up real quick. As I said last time you guys were here, always a big night that I'm looking forward to. August 21st, 22nd, and 3rd. Make sure you remember that one, folks. Sprint Car SmackDown, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of racing. And like Brian had just said, that will be the Kokomo Sprints thrown down that night. It'll be the USAC Amsoil Mountain Wing 410 Sprints, as now we got the Kokomo Sprints out here on the track, ready for some mile laps and some qualifying action. This is our 4th racing night of the year here at Kokomo. And every night we have seen the Kokomo Sprints out here on the track for some racing action. Back at the Kokomo Grand Prix for 2 straight nights of action, it was Kevin Thomas Jr. that went at it with Robert Ballou. In night 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix, Kevin Thomas Jr. came out on top, and then in night 2, we saw Kyle Cummins in a dominant performance take the win on night 2 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. And then just a couple weeks ago, we were here for the 2025 BC Indiana Double, and the Kokomo Sprints were in town, and that night it was the madman Robert Ballou that stood tall, and he will be here tonight in the field ready to defend his feature win crown. So again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What is up, race fans? Welcome on in to Kokomo Speedway. If you are here in the grandstands or if you are watching live on FloRacing, thanks everyone for being here this evening on a Sunday night. We're looking forward to a great night of racing here tonight. And a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that are here at the track, here in the grandstands, we are selling 50-50 tickets here tonight. They are being sold in the front stretch gift shop, and they will be being sold on the grounds throughout the track throughout the evening. So if you are interested in trying your luck at tonight's 50-50, then tickets are being sold at the front stretch gift shop and around the grounds all through the night. So Kokomo Sprints out here getting the track nice and broken in. We'll be rolling into some group qualifying action for these guys here in just a moment. Looking at, last I checked, 39 Kokomo Sprints on the card here. Tonight we'll be looking at 4 groups of qualifying, 4 heat races when we jump into racing action. We're here tonight for the final night of Indiana Midget Week. As Brian had said, unfortunately, these guys have been battling Mother Nature all throughout the week. I believe it has been 3 nights in a row that these guys have been rained out, and we are happy that we are able to get this show in here at Kokomo. I was watching the weather throughout the week. I was a little worried as well about tonight, but we are here on a beautiful Sunday night ready for some racing action. We're here tonight, June 8th, for Indiana Midget Week. The USAC NOS Energy Drink National Midgets and the local Kokomo Sprints are on card. After tonight, we will not be here for just under a month, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that you are back for the 3rd of July on a Thursday night, as we will be going at it for some midweek racing. Thursday night, July 3rd, we will see our local Kokomo Sprints as well as some modifieds and Thunder cars in action that night, and we will close things out with a big-time fireworks show on the 3rd of July. And ladies and gentlemen, we are about ready to drop the green flag here for some qualifying action for the local Kokomo Sprints. It's going to be 3 laps here for these guys. Night 1 they were here. Cale Drake took the fast time. Green flag is going to drop here as Bo Brandon comes across. And we are officially qualifying here at Kokomo Speedway, ladies and gentlemen. And riding a wheelie here as they come down the front stretch. That was the 00 of Noah Whitehouse. Cale Drake got fast time back on night 1. Trey Osborne got fast time on night 2. And Rylan Gray was our fast time last time out for the Kokomo Sprints, as white flag waves here on this first group. White flag waves, checkered flag waves, and I believe that is Sabin Bybant there that is throwing us a smoke cloud all around the track. So he rolls into 1 and 2. As the checkered flag drops here on this group, it is the 33 of R.J. Johnson. 33 of R.J. Johnson, that's going to be up there at the top. 13.632. 13.632, going to start his fast time for R.J. Johnson at 33. $13.632 going to start as the fast time for the Kokomo Sprints. R.J. Johnson, 33P. We'll start up at the top as this second group rolls their way on. That first car over there in the number 12, that is the Madman Robert Ballou. And he is the most recent winner here for the Kokomo Sprints 2 weeks ago for the BC Indiana Double. He started the night off a little shaky as he got tangled up with Rylan Gray in the heat race. And him and Rylan Gray did not finish the heat race. He had to race his way in through the B main, won the B main, and then started the A main back in 17th. And it looked like Cale Drake was going to drive away to a feature win 2 weeks ago. Cale Drake got tangled up with some lap traffic late in the race. That reset everything. Robert Ballou was there to capitalize. And we will see if the Madman can grab his second win of the year here tonight. We have seen 3 features for the Kokomo Sprints and 3 different winners. So we'll see if Robert Ballou can be the first driver here in 2025 to grab a second feature win. Second group is rolling their way on here. In this second group, we will see Jeff Ensign in the 00 coming all the way from California. George Wessel Jr. in the 05, Andrew Cockman in the 0C, Brent Sexton in the 44, Dave Gross in the 37, R.J. Miller in the 34M, Mitchell Moles in the 19 AZ, Robert Ballou in the 12, Shane the Throttle Coddle in the 34, and Zach Pretorius in the 9Z, as we're looking at 10 cars here in group number 2. So we should be looking at 10 cars in group 1, 10 cars in group 2, 10 cars in group 3, 9 cars should round our fourth and final group as we roll through qualifying here for the Kokomo Sprints. RJ Johnson starts it up at the top, 13.632. Some fast cars here in group 2 that are going to be trying to chase him down. USAC is here in town tonight, and they will be back in town on July 26th for Big Time Indiana Sprint Week. Make sure you are here, folks. July 26th. That is Saturday night. We are looking forward to a Saturday night of racing. It's always a good time when the USAC squad is in town. They are here tonight with the NOS Energy Drink Midgets National Championship. That night it will be the USAC AMSOIL Sprint Car National Championship that night. That goes down July 26th. Make sure you folks are here for Indiana Sprint Week. And then, as we had talked about, August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts Sprint Car Smackdown. That is 3 straight nights of racing, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Make sure you are here for that one, folks. And nothing for us in September, but we are always looking forward to the grand finale of the year, the Kokomo Clash. Goes down October 10th and 11th. We hope you are here to help us close out the year. October 10th and 11th for the Kokomo Clash. And as well, ladies and gentlemen, earlier in the year, our very first show that we were going to try to kick the year off with the XR Hornet show. And unfortunately, Mother Nature closed the curtains on that XR Hornet show. We are still hoping to have that XR Hornet show. That will be August 1st and 2nd. August 1st and 2nd. August 1st is a practice and qualifying night. That one is open to the public. And then August 2nd, we are racing for the XR Hornets. So if you guys were looking forward to that big-time show to open up the year, we are still hoping to have that August 1st and 2nd for the XR Hornets. And a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that if you want to keep up with the schedule as well as everything that's going on here at Kokomo, you can keep up with things at Kokomo Speedway on Facebook as well as Kokomo Speedway on Twitter and X. And, of course, that's our website, KokomoSpeedway.net. KokomoSpeedway.net. Best way to keep up with points, standings, results, news, and the schedule and everything going on here at Kokomo Speedway. We're looking forward to a big-time 2025. Second group rolling their way on here for the Kokomo Sprints. As they are chasing down RJ Johnson up there at the top with the fast time, 13.632. 13.632 will start as the time to beat. The Kokomo Sprints are usually looking for a low 13 or a high 12. Low 13 or a high 12, usually what these guys are looking for. So there's some time to be found for these Kokomo Sprints. And we are about to drop the green flag here for the second group. 3 laps here for this squad. And as I said, they're chasing down RJ Johnson. 13.632. 13.632. Starts as the time to beat. Group 2 come to the green flag. If you're watching with us here on FloRacing, you can see it already as Mitchell Moles has thrown it up to the top. Robert Ballou is going to take it as he steps it into the 12s. And the Madman going to throw his name up to the top. Mitchell Moles with a very quick time as well. But multiple cars going to overstep the initial fast time from RJ Johnson. Checkered flag waves here on Group 2, and as it does, the Madman with a 12.908. 12.908 will be the new fast time. $12.908 new fast time for Robert Ballou. Mitchell Moles and Shane Cottle ran some very fast times as well. Robert Ballou, the lone driver to step it up into the 12 seconds. And almost the fastest time that we've seen this year, but Rylan Gray will hold on to that with the 12.893. But 12.908, 12.908 new fast time, Robert Ballou. So Robert Ballou now up at the top. We also see Mitchell Moles and Shane Cottle round out the top three after a very, very fast Group 2 that rolls out. Group 3 going to roll their way on now. They're chasing down the Madman. 12.908 will remain the fast time. Here in this third group, we are going to see Tony Hilton in the 87.
I know. It looks bad, too. It makes it look like much.
That is Nathan Smee that rolls right there in the 42. See Logan Calderwood in the 6 car, Braden Clark in the 4C, Brennan Marshall in the 43, Harley Burns in the 16, Cale Drake in the 2B, Kayla Rail in the 4K, Briar Schroeder in the 21S. As I said, that is Nathan Smee right there in the 42, and Cameron LaRose in the 13P to round out our third group here for the Kokomo Sprints. Chasing down Robert Ballou, 12.908. 12.908 will be the time to beat. Can someone here in Group 3 steal away fast time from Robert Ballou? Cale Drake out here in this group. He did take fast time back in week 1, back in night 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix. He will be a car to watch, see if he can grab fast time from Robert Ballou. And again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone here at the track, whether you're here at the track, whether you're watching live on FloRacing. It's great to see all the race fans out there on a Sunday night here to close out Indiana Midget Week. As we had said, the Indiana Midget Week has been fighting some Mother Nature all throughout the week, including today. It was looking a little shaky throughout the week, but we are here. We are ready for a great night of racing action. Kokomo Sprints out here right now, getting the track nice and broken in. Some group qualifying action. Robert Ballou currently our fast time, 12.908. Will be the time to beat for this next group out here. It's Brennan Marshall right there in that good-looking 43 car. While we let the sprints roll their way on, we like to show a quick thanks to some of the folks that make racing possible here at Kokomo Speedway, such as Ari Griesmer Fire Protection. Griesmer Fire Protection has been installing fire sprinkler systems throughout the state of Indiana since 1976. Their expertise varies and includes providing customized fire protection for commercial, retail, industrial, and distribution facilities. You can find out more info at regriesmer.com. As well as OmniSource. OmniSource is one of North America's largest processors and distributors of scrap and secondary metals. You can find out more info from them for OmniSource at omnisource.com as the second group continues to roll their way on. Third group continuing to roll their way on. That is Braden Clark right there in the 4C. Coming to us from Tipton, Indiana. Regular competitor here in the Kokomo Sprints. some other folks that make racing possible here at Kokomo Speedway. We want to say a big thanks to Remington Auto Parts. We ask you to please get a hold of them for offer all of your auto parts needs out of Remington, Indiana. Remington Auto Parts. This third group continues to roll their way on here. For group qualifying, Kokomo Sprints, they're still going to be chasing down Robert Ballou up at the top. And we are about ready to drop the green flag here on group number 3 for the Kokomo Sprints. Still chasing down Robert Ballou. The 12.908. 12.908. Robert Ballou runs a high 12. Green flag going to drop here on group number 3, chasing down Robert Ballou. White flag in the air and checkered flag in the air here for group number 3. We can see that Harley Burns runs a quick 13.321, but no one able to step it into the 12s here for group number 3. Harley Burns with a 13.321, Cale Drake with a 13.341, and Logan Calderwood with a 13.486. To round out group number 3, Robert Ballou will still be up at the top. Group 3 will roll their way off. Group 4 will roll their way on. Going to be some fast cars that are rolling their way on here in this 4th group, though. So we'll see if one of these guys can steal fast time away from Robert Ballou. And speaking of fast cars, I believe that right there is Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 15, night 1 of the Kokomo Grand Prix, our very first night of the year here at Kokomo. He took the win for the Kokomo Sprints feature, and we'll see if he can be the first driver to grab 2 wins here in 2025. Kyle Cummins not in the field, unfortunately, for the Kokomo Sprints. But it'll be Kevin Thomas Jr. and Robert Ballou, both with wins here this year. Definitely want to keep an eye on Cale Drake. He looked like he was going to get the win 2 weeks ago, but a late caution spelled the end of that. And Ricky Lewis definitely looked like he had a chance as well a couple weeks ago, but Robert Ballou was able to reel them in and grab the win in the end. So 4th and final group out here for the Kokomo Sprints. In this group, we are looking at Brandon Maddox in the 28, Devin Myers in the 75, Ricky Lewis in the 41, Cole Kirkman in the 81K, Rylan Gray in the 1 car, Sam Hines in the 71H. As I said, Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 15. That is Parker Fredrickson right there in the 21. And Jake Swanson in the 47 will round out our 4th and final group here for the Kokomo Sprints. Robert Ballou is still up at the top. 12.908 will remain the time to beat. 12.908. So fourth and final group rolling their way on here for the Kokomo Sprints. After this, we will be rolling into some USAC Midgets, hot laps, and qualifying action. We'll see heat races for both divisions here tonight. We'll see which cars can race their way into the show here tonight in heat racing action. We'll see B mains where required, should require B mains for both divisions. And we are looking forward to some big time A mains here tonight for both divisions, the Kokomo Sprints and of course the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midgets National Championship in town here tonight. And a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, USAC is in town again next month, July 26th, for Big Time Indiana Sprint Week. That'll be the first appearance of the year for the USAC AmSoil Sprint Car National Championship. Make sure you are here, ladies and gentlemen, July 26th for when USAC is back in town. Kokomo Sprint's about to take the green here for the fourth and final group, chasing down Robert Ballou. 12.908, 12.908 will remain the time to beat for the Kokomo Sprints, chasing down the Madman. White flag in the air one more time around for the Kokomo Sprints. It's looking good here for the Madman Robert Ballou, that he will hang on to this fast time. Rylan Gray out here was fast time 2 weeks ago for the Kokomo Sprints. Checker flag waves here on Group 4. That is Jake Swanson that was packing a bit of a smoke cloud there into 1 and 2, but the checker flag is going to wave. Robert Ballou will stand tall with his fast time of a 12.908, and the Madman take his first fast time of the year for the Kokomo Sprints. So the 12 car of Robert Ballou will be up at the top to close out group qualifying for the Kokomo Sprints. Next time we see them, we will be jumping into some heat racing action. We will see who can race their way into the show later tonight. And the USAC Midget's going to roll their way on now. USAC National Midget's going to roll their way on. As they roll their way on, I will throw things back over to the voice of USAC, Brian Hulbert, and he will lead you guys through the night, all with the USAC Midget squad. Brian, it's all yours, man.
Thank you very much. First round of Dirt Draft Hot Laps making its way out to the Speedway. Give drivers a couple of laps to not only iron in some of the crumbs, but also get a little bit of heat beneath the bonnets before we set them loose. Again, live timing and scoring for USAC competition can be found on the Race Monitor app. The the Kokomo 410 Sprint cars, that is over on My Race Pass. So drivers making their way out. First one to tell you about rolls over in turns 3 and 4 to Greencastle, Indiana. Driver the curb records at D Company's Impact Dueling Autosport Curb Magazine number 63. That is Cale Coons. Cale Coons, the number 63. He'll roll around to the front straightaway. Driver directly in front of him, that is Ethan Mitchell. He's out of Mooresville, North Carolina, the number 19M. Just past the flag stand, that's Zach Weigel out of Belpre, Ohio. The S2 Cybersecurity, Sound Alive Graphics, Belling Racing Equipment number 8. Rolling behind him, that is going to be Carter Sarf of Mason City, Illinois. The Provisio, Speedway Toyota, Spike Chassis, Collision Concepts, Jamie Sarf Construction, number 21K. Driver to Vione, California, the NOS Energy Drink, PristineAuction.com, Mobile 1, TRD number 87, Justin Grant, making his way over onto the back straightway as the green flag will fly. We get underway here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. Track picking up quite a bit of speed as we go through Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. Carter Sarf, a 13.409 right now, the quickest driver on track. Hayden Reinbold, a 13.476. Justin Grant, 13.510. Cale Coons, a 13.690. And Zach Weigel, 13.843. Next group of drivers making their way out to the Speedway. Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2. First driver out to the racetrack. He comes here to Double E, Louisiana. Driver of the Dusty Moon Veterinary Services. Chevrolet Beast Klotz Lubricants number 4B. That'll be Shelby Hinton. Shelby Hinton in the number 4B. Driver rolling into turn number 3 at Perth, Western Australia. Driver the Mannington Toyota. Monty Farms. Alliance Surveying. Driven Midwest. Paul Robinson on number 8 AU. That is Jake Robinson. Jake Robinson in the number 8 AU. Through turns 3 and 4, the driver out of Canyon, Texas, the Sierra Towing and Crushing, Sonny's Grocery, Taylor Sudden Service, Sure-Built Suspension, Tops Up Earbud Quality Threads, Checker Flag Truck, and number 00. That is Brecken Reese. Brecken Reese in the 00. Handful of midget attempts under his belt so far in his career. Coming up out of the now 600 ranks of micros at Titusville, Florida. The Precise Tooling Solutions, TRD Mobile One Curb Records Walker Filtration number 67K. That is Colton Robinson. Colton Robinson in the 67K. Rolling around to the front straightway, he is your defending Indiana Midget Week champion out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma. Driver of the PrecineAuction.com, NOS Energy Drink, Toyota Racing Development, Mobile One Spike, Speedway Toyota number 86. That is Dason Pursley. Dason Pursley in the number 86. Tom Payette onto the Speedway, making his way into turns 1 and 2. Driver the Merger Contracting, Energy Hire, Toyota Link Chassis, Hose Force, Bradford's Plumbing number 7 AU. Few more drivers out to the Speedway. Next one to tell you about rolls to the flag stand right now out of Southern California. Driver of the Indy Power Sports. Sherinoff Cosmetic Surgery, Prime 47, CGCPA's Mountain Mechanical Contractors number 57. That is Logan Seavey. Logan Seavey in the 57. Rylan Gray at Greenfield, Indiana, the Escorp.com. Stanton SR11, Link Chassis, Kaiser Wheels, Gray Auto number 81G, making his way through turns 1 and 2. And one more driver to tell you about, making the trip into Mooresville, North Carolina. Driver of the Bellwood Auto Body, Stanton Spike, GRC Fabrication, DC Machines, Mid Titanium number 55. That is Trevor Klein. Trevor Klein in the number 55. Out of Coleman, Alabama, the Inferno Armor, Metalloid 1, ShockHenryDuck.com. Acro Seal number 14, making his way into turns 1 and 2. That is Kevin Thomas Jr. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 14. Drivers getting ready to get things wound up and let loose here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2 of 4. The wave of the green flag. We'll get after it. Checkered flag on Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 2. Brecken Reese to the top of the board to 13.336. Kevin Thomas Jr. 13.405. Carter Sarf at 13.409. Hayden Reinbold 13.476. And Justin Grant 13.510. Cars going to make their way off. Let's check in with Drake York.
Thank you so much, Brian. We just saw Rylan Gray in the 81G go out there. If you remember back to Circle City Raceway for night number 1 of Indiana Midget Week, I know it was a very long time ago, but the Gray team attempted to go out there and try to compete with the NOS Energy Drink USAC National Midget Championship. Unfortunately, that car had other plans. They actually had an airbox problem that really prevented that car from running how it was supposed to, so they took the car back home. found that airbox issue, was able to remedy that, and he was actually at Toledo last night with the 500 Sprint Tour pound some payment. Tonight he's back here at Kokomo Speedway pulling double duty, but good to see that car fire off in Dirt Draft Hot Laps, and seemingly, Brian, everything seems to be okay, rather, underneath the hood of the 81G.
Hopefully things stay that way. Thank you very much. Drivers onto the racetrack for Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 3. Cale Drake out of Collinsville, Oklahoma, driver the Yabach Toyota KKM Give Back Classic. Speedway Total Link chassis number 97K, making his way around to the back straightaway. Also around to the back straightaway, the 77AZ. That is Preston Norbury out of Chino Valley, Arizona, driver the Kodiak Products, Coyote Race Cars, Mopar Power, DRC Chassis, Papa Paul's Upholstery, number 77. Into the frame just in front of him for a moment was Cannon McIntosh of Bixby, Oklahoma. The Mobile 1, Toyota Racing Development, KKM Kermagajanian number 71. The 63G, Frankie Guarini out of San Rafael, California, driver the FNF Racing Z-Max Stanton Spike chassis number 63, makes his way through turns 3 and 4. Caden Manders out of Perth, Western Australia, the Dasco Supply Group, GRD Chevrolet Spike Chassis, QV Automotive Mining Marine, number 71 here on the front straightaway. Driver rolling off at turn number 4. Thomas Meseral out of San Jose, California, the England Machine and Tool Team STVEA Stealth Spike Chassis, High Performance Lubricants Teaming are owned at number 7. First appearance of the week for the driver to New Berlin, Illinois, originally out of the state of Wyoming, the Performance Driveline, Jake Newman Racing, Toyota Link Chassis, Mark Chisholm, number 56X. Well, that's Mark Chisholm. Mark Chisholm in the number 56. Last appearance in USAC National Competition back at Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex. And if you missed Mid-America Midget Week, now going to kick off at that Missouri Oval, originally set to be a Red Dirt Raceway down in Oklahoma, unfortunately. Running into some issues, so that track unavailable. So now Sweet Springs added once again to the 2025 lineup. You can check that at usacracing.com as we go to green in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 3. New driver top of the speed charts, Jacob Boxell in the Four Kings Racing number 14 JB, a 13.331. Brecken Reese second quick now at 13.336. Kevin Thomas Jr. 13.405. Carter Sarr for 13.409 and Frankie Guarini at 13.418. Hayden Reinbold, Justin Grant, Cale Drake, Dason Persley, Cannon McIntosh currently make up the top 10 quickest drivers here in Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Final group of drivers out to the Speedway here for Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Daniel Harding out of Perth, Western Australia, rolling into turns 1 and 2 in the QV Automotive Mining Marine. Spike Chassis, Dasco Supply Group, Valvoline number 71W. Steven Snyder Jr. into turn number 1 right now at a Rising Sun, Maryland. The RMS Racing EnviroFab Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis, MPV Logistics number 4. Gunnar Setzer out of Columbus, Indiana into turn number 1. The Midwest 2 Mills Bar Properties. Secure starts now. Setzer Fabricating, Lynch Machining, Kevin Arnold own number 43. And here in the front straightaway out of Morgan Hill, California, the Kaiser Wheels, the Van Schock Speedway Toyota Spike. Western Speed number 40, that is Blake Brannon. Blake Brannon in the number 40. Rick Edwards onto the Speedway over in turns 3 and 4 to Peoria, Arizona. The Avante Windows and Doors, pristineauction.com, Petty Performance Racing, CB Industries Mobile 1, number 83. Jacob Denny out of Galloway, Ohio, here at the flag stand. Driver the JBL Auto TRD Toyota Mobile 1. Link chassis KKM Kerbagajanian, number 67. The 26 machine, that is Corbin Ruschenberg at Mesa, Arizona. The CBC Steel Buildings, Arizona Luxury Garage, Spike Chassis, MB2 Industries, CHI Overhead Door, JPU Racing, number 26. Another driver making his first appearance of the week, Jeff Schindler on the list out of Evansville, Indiana. Driver the United Mechanical, Felker Esslinger Powered, Spike Chassis, Lone Wolf Petroleum, number 8X. Gavin Miller over in turns 1 and 2. The Sound Gear, TRD Mobile 1, Curb Records, Toyota KKM Kerbagajanian, number 97. Again, drivers on track for Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 4. Coming up after this, we'll roll into Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, where tonight's fast qualifier will receive an extra $150 courtesy of Honest Abe Roofing. So that'll bring a close to Dirt Draft Hot Laps, and Jacob Boxell, 13.331, will be your quickest driver. Brecken Reese, second quick at a 13.336. Kevin Thomas Jr., a 13.405. Carter Sarr, Frankie Guarini, that was your top 5. Steven Snyder Jr., Gunnar Setzer, Hayden Reinbold, Justin Grant, and Kel Drake make up the top 10. Honest Abe Roofing, America's reliable roofer, will present the Fast Qualifying Award for all 3 USAC National Divisions throughout the 2025 season. Honest Abe has been installing, repairing, and maintaining residential roofs since 2005, and they want to give you the perfect roof to protect your home and keep you comfortable. Honest Abe provides the fastest service in the roofing industry, and they're supporting the fastest driver in qualifications. Visit honestaberoofing.com today to schedule your free roof inspection. 2 times around, the driver's fastest lap, counting towards their qualifying effort. 33 drivers able to make it out for Dirt Draft Hot Laps, with 33 drivers officially checking in. The track record established in April of 2019 by one Dylan Welch at a 12.665, 94.655 average miles per hour. Green light's going to come on around the Kokomo Speedway. That'll be green first time by. First driver out to qualify comes to you out of Belpre, Ohio. Driver the Belling Racing Equipment, Evans Custom Lettering, Signs of Life Graphics, S2 Cybersecurity, Cornell Racing Stable, Stanton's Triple X Chassis number 8. This is Zach Weigel. Zach Weigel in the number 8 machine. Starting off the week with a 6th place finish up at Circle City and 18th at Paragon. Comes around lap number 1 to set the mark at a 13.668, 1.3668 seconds for Zach Weigel. One career Indiana Midget Week start. He ran 14th in 2024 here at Kokomo. Wheel stands it down the front straightaway. He's getting style points on that one. Lap number 2, unfortunately, a little bit slower, 13.889, 13.668 on his opening lap. Weigel with style sets the mark as the next driver out to the Speedway. Comes to you from down the road in Mason City, Illinois. Driver the Provisio, Speedway Toyota, Spike Chassis, Clearview Glass, Collision Concepts, Jamie Sarf Construction, number 21K. It's the Shark, Carter Sarf. Sarv coming around in his opening lap, and he'll be quick time at a 13.313, 133.13 seconds. 7th and 8th place finishes earlier this year during the Kokomo Grand Prix. Two-time starter in Indiana Midget Week competition with 1 top 5 and 2 top 10 finishes, both of those coming as this is his Midget Week debut. Lap number 2, a 13.252, better for Carter Sarf. He is right now your Honest Abe Roofing Quick Qualifier. Driver who went fast time in prelim competition here during the Grand Prix earlier this season out of Ione, California. The NOS Energy Drink, PristineAuction.com, Mobile One, Toyota Racing Development, CB Industries, number 87. This is Justin Grant. Justin Grant in the 87. Second quick on his opening lap at a 13.465, 13.465 seconds. Night number 2 winner of the Kokomo Grand Prix, 7-time starter in Indiana Midget Week competition here at the Kokomo Speedway. Comes around lap number 2, slower, 13.510. He'll stand on his opening lap, a 13.465. Put Justin Grant currently second on the grid. Rylan Gray out to the Speedway now, 4th driver to qualify, theacecorp.com. Link chassis, Kaiser Wheels, Gray Auto, Gray Brothers Racing, number 81G. A little bit of a bobble over in turns 3 and 4. Luckily, he's got one more lap to try to capitalize with a 13.921 on his opening attempt. 4th quick at a 4 right now. 17th place finish in the Elliott's Custom Trailers Kart semi-feature event up at Circle City. As Drake alluded to earlier, had mechanical problems. She's running here tonight, though. Lap number 2 is better, improves by 1, 13.499. 3rd quick right now for Rylan Gray. Next driver onto the Speedway, making the trip into Perth, Western Australia, driven the Merger Contracting, Energy Hire, Jolly Good Auto Electrics, Toyota Link Chassis, Hose Force, Rod Bennett owned number 7AU. This is Tom Payette. Tom Payette in the number 7AU. First lap is a 13.929. 5th quick at a 5, 13.929 seconds for the driver to Perth, Western Australia. We'll see what the 2-time Western Australia Speed Car champion can do here on his second time around. Lap number 2 is better on time, 13.916, not position. 5th quick still for Tom Payette. Hayden Reinbold out to the Speedway now. Driver out of Gilbert, Arizona. The AME Electrical Indy Race Parts Stanton Spike Chassis. Reinbold Underwood Motorsports of a 19AZ. A 21st and a 11th place finish in our visit earlier during the Grand Prix this season. 2-time Indiana Midget Week start here at Kokomo. 16th in 2022 and 11th in 2024. Goes 4th quick at his opening lap at 13.540, 13.540 for Hayden Reinbold. 91 career USAC National Midget starts for the Arizona racer. Comes around lap number 2, better. 3rd quick at a 13.498, 134.98 seconds for Hayden Reinbold. Next driver onto the track is going to be Cale Coons. He's out of Greencastle, Indiana. Driving the Curb Wreckers, D Company's Impact, Stanton SR11, Shores Chassis, Dueling Autosport, Curb Agajanian, number 63. Top 10 run during preliminary night competition of the Grand Prix earlier this year. Comes around to 13.952, 139.52 seconds for Cale Coons on his opening lap. 15th place at Circle City, a 22nd at Paragon. His 2 career starts in Indiana Midget Week competition. During his debut run here in 2025, improves another spot to 6th quick at a 13.897, 138.97 seconds for Cale Coons. Second time by, put him 6th currently on the field. At Mooresville, North Carolina, driving the Millbridge Speedway, FK Indy, Bundy Built Honda, Spike Chassis, Walker Filtration, Mark IV, The Joy of Seating, Radical Print Company, number 19M. This is Little Bundy, Ethan Mitchell. Ethan Mitchell in the 19M coming around on his opening lap, 6th quick at a 13.768, 137.68 seconds. 3-time Midget Week starter here at Kokomo. Finished 20th 1 year ago. His best appearance in 2022, he ran 11th. Comes around on lap number 2, better on time and position, improves to 5th at 13.566, 135.66 seconds for Ethan Mitchell, currently 5th out of 8. Onto the Speedway now. He is your defending Indiana Midget Week champion out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The PristineAuction.com, NOS Energy Drink, Toyota Racing Development, Mobile One, CB Industries, number 86. This is Dason Pursley. Dason Pursley in the number 86. 5th quick in his opening lap at 13.513, 135.13 seconds. Winner here 1 year ago, a 3rd and a 7th place finish to start the season off up here during the Grand Prix. Comes around lap number 2, 2nd quick, a 13.355, 133.55 seconds for Dason Pursley. 2nd quick currently in 86. Trevor Klein next on to the Speedway to Mooresville, North Carolina. Drove the Bellwood Auto Body, Stanton Spike Chassis, Smith Titanium DC Machine, number 55. Two career USAC National Midget stars during the BC 39 in 2023 and 2024. Fourth quick in his opening lap at 13.478, 1:34.78 seconds for the driver, the number 55. Hard in it through turns 3 and 4. Comes around, lap number 2, better on time at 13.466. Still fourth quick. Again, that's Trevor Klein in 55. Logan Seavey onto the Speedway out of Sutter, California, driving the Indy Power Sports Prime 47, Shernoff Cosmetic Surgery, CGCPA's Mountain Mechanical Contractors, Forecheck Marketing, Abacus Racing, number 57. Third quick in his opening lap at 13.445, 1:34.45 seconds for the driver of the number 57. Four-time starter here at Kokomo in Midget Week competition, a fourth 1 year ago, also in 2018. Comes around, lap number 2, slower, a 13.479, 13.445 in his opening lap, puts Logan Seavey third quick. Driver to Coleman, Alabama, out to the Speedway. The Inferno Armor, Metalloid 1, ShopAngryDuck.com, Acroseal Advanced Racing Suspension, Driven Performance 4 Kings, number 14. This is Kevin Thomas Jr. Kevin Thomas Jr. in the 14, ninth quick on lap number 1, a 13.582, 1:35.82 seconds for the driver of the number 14. Four-time starter here at Kokomo and Indiana Midget Week. Winner here in 2018. His last start was in 2021 where he ran ninth. Comes around second quick on lap number 2 at 13.352, 1:33.52 seconds. Second quick for Kevin Thomas Jr. Next out to the Speedway, Jake Robinson out of Perth, Western Australia. The Mannington Toyota, Monty Farms, Toyota Powered, Link Chassis, Alliance Surveying, driven Midwest, Paul Robinson owned, number 8 AU. Still looking for a feature start this week. A pair of starts in semi-feature competition, 13th at Circle City and 14th at Paragon. He's 13th quick in his opening lap at the 14.414, 14.414 seconds. A lap number 1 for Jake Robinson. Lap number 2 will be better on time, a 14.158, 13th quick for the driver of the 8 AU. On the throttle now at Titusville, Florida, the Precise Tooling Solutions, Speedway Total, Link Chassis, TRD, Mobile One, Curb Records, Walker Filtration, KKM, Curbing at Genie, number 67K. This is Colton Robinson. Colton Robinson, the 67, rolls 13th quick in his opening lap at a 13.918, 1:39.18 seconds. Making his first career start at Paragon, managed a 12th place finish. Comes around lap number 2 and better to 10th quick at a 13.587, 1:35.87 seconds for Colton Robinson. 15th driver out to the Speedway comes to you out of Beverly, Louisiana. Driver the Dusty Moon Veterinary Services, Klotz Lubricant, Chevrolet Beast Chassis, Client Enterprises, number 4B. This is Shelby Hinton. Shelby Hinton in the number 4B. Issues earlier this year during the Grand Prix. Comes around lap number 1 with a 13.866, 1:38.66 seconds for Shelby Hinton on his opening lap. Puts him 12th quick currently. Four-time starter in Indian Midget Week competition in 2023. His best finish was a 20th up at Gas City. Comes around lap number 2, a 13.716, better 12th quick for Shelby Hinton. Driver showing a lot of speed during Dirt Draft Hot Laps. We'll see how he does here in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying at Acadian, Texas. Sierra Towing and Crushing, Sunny's Grocery, Chandler Grand Prix, Checker Flag Trucking, Tops Up Here, Bud Quality Threads, 00. This is Brecken Reese. Brecken Reese, 7th quick in his opening lap. 13.481, 13.481 for Brecken Reese on lap number 1. Third visit of the season here to Kokomo with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship, an 18th and a 17th earlier this year. Comes around lap number 2 and slower, 13.569 to 13.481 on lap number 1. Puts Brecken Reese 7th currently on the field. Driver out of Bixby, Oklahoma on track, driving the Mobile One, TRD, Curb Record, Toyota KKM, Curbing at Janie, and Link Chassis number 71K. This is Cannon McIntosh. Cannon McIntosh in the number 71K, rolling around lap number 1. He will stop the clock. 14th quick at a 13.830, 1:3830 seconds for Cannon McIntosh, a four-time starter here at Kokomo in Indiana Midget Week competition. Winner here in 2022. He ran 4th here 1 year ago. Comes around lap number 2 is going to be better, a 13.699, 1:36.99 seconds, 13th for Cannon McIntosh. Out of San Jose, California, driving the England Machine and Tool Team STVEA Stealth Spike Chassis, Sure-Bolt Suspension, High Performance Lubricants number 7X, it's Team S Thomas Meserol. 15th on his opening lap at a 13.744, 1:37.44 seconds. 8-time Indiana Midweek starter here at Kokomo. His last start was back in 2022. He ran 9th. That's the 3rd time he's done so here at Kokomo. Comes around lap number 2, a 13.614, 12th quick for Thomas Meserol. Nineteenth driver to take time is going to be Preston Norberry at Chino Valley, Arizona. Driver the Kodiak Products, Coyote Race Cars, Mopar Power, DRC Chassis, Salon Go, Beals Auto Body, number 77, AZ. Comes around on his opening lap. He'll stop the clock at a 14.107, 141.07 seconds. 18th quick for Preston Norberry. 2 wins on the season for this driver in now 600 micro competition out at Adobe Mountain in Arizona back in January and again in May. Comes around, improves on time and position. 16th quick at a 13.837. That was lap number 2. The best attempt for Preston Norberry puts him 16th. On to the Speedway now. It's Cale Drake out of Collinsville, Oklahoma. Driving the Eibach Toyota KKM Give Back Classic. Herb Brecker Speedway Toyota Link Chassis KKM Kirby Gagini, number 97K. Throws her off into turns 3 and 4. Looking for victory number 3 on the season. He goes 12th quick on his opening lap at a 13.601. 136.01 seconds for the driver of the number 97K. A 4th and a 5th place finish earlier this year during the Grand Prix. Last year he ran 5th in Midget Week competition here at Kokomo. 4th quick at a 13.412. 134.12 seconds. 4th quick for Cale Drake on lap number 2. 21st driver out to qualify is going to be Mark Chisholm, originally out of the state of Wyoming, has relocated to New Berlin, Illinois. Driver the Performance Driveline Toyota Powered Link Chassis, Jake Newman Racing, number 56X. 2 career starts in USAC National Midget competition for the driver of the number 56. Lap number 1 turned a 14.489, 14.489 seconds for the driver of the number 56. A lot of experience under the wings in ASCS competition. A little bit of a bobble through turns 3 and 4. And he'll come around on lap number 2, slower, 15.885. He'll exit stage right, and we'll continue on here with Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. Jacob Boxell, very quick during hot laps earlier. Out of Zanesville, Indiana, the Inferno Armor Metalloid 1, ShopAngryDuck.com, Stanton Link Chassis, number 14, JB. Comes around on his opening lap, 12th quick at a 13.568, 135.68 seconds. 16th place finish up at Circle City, was in a semi-feature at Paragon where he ran 8th. 4 career national midget starts for the driver, the number 14, JB. Comes around line number 2, 6 quick at a 13.450, 13.450 seconds for Jacob Boxell. Jump him to 6th. Frankie Guarini onto the Speedway, the driver to San Rafael, California. Driver the F&F Racing Z-Max FG3 Performance Engine. Stanton Spike Chassis, number 63G. 1 career Midget Week start here at Kokomo. Last year ran 15th. Earlier this year, a 14th and a 15th place finish for the driver out of San Rafael, California. Lap number 1 is a 14.246. 14.246 seconds, currently 22nd. Lap number 2 will improve by 1 spot with a 13.945. 139.45 for Frankie Guarini. Caden Manders onto the Speedway out of Perth, Western Australia. The Dasco Supply Group, Spike Chassis, Valvoline, QV Automotive, Mining, Marine. Scatterfeld's number 71. Rolls her through turns 3 and 4 here on his opening lap. He's the 24th driver to qualify. He'll stop the clock 21st at a 13.935, 139.35 seconds. 5th place finish in the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event up at Circle City. A 25th place finish up at Paragon. Comes around and improves to 19th at a 13.873, 138.73 seconds for Caden Manders, second time around. Rolling to the backside of the Speedway, 25th driver to qualify out of Evansville, Indiana. Driving the United Mechanical, Felker Esslinger Powered, Spike Chassis, Lone Wolf Petroleum, Independence Contracting, number 8X. This is Jeff Schindler. Jeff Schindler in the number 8X. 14.331, 24th quick on his opening lap. Again, a 14.331 second attempt. 1 career start, and that was in Indiana Midget Week competition back in 2024. He ran 19th, as lap number 2 was a 14.035, improves by 1 more to 23rd. Onto the track now, it's going to be Gavin Miller. He's out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Driver the Sound Gear, TRD, Mobile 1, Curb Records, Toyota, Link Chassis, KKM, Kirby Gagini, number 97. Comes around in his opening lap at 13.601, 136.01 seconds for Gavin Miller. Puts him 14th quick right now. A 6th and a 10th place finish during the Grand Prix earlier this year. Made his first career midget week start at Kokomo last year. A 7th place finish. Comes around lap number 2. Slower, 13.786. He'll stand on his opening lap at 13.601. That's 14th fastest for Gavin Miller. Fantastic start to the season here during the Grand Prix for the driver on track right now at a Rising Sun Maryland, the RMS Racing EnviroFab, Valco Wheels, MPV Logistics number 4. That's Steven Snyder Jr. Steven Snyder Jr. second quick in his opening lap at 13.342. 1.3342 seconds for the driver of the number 4. Brings her off through turns 3 and 4. He'll stand her onto the right rear. Lap number 2 will be slower, 13.754, 13.342, second quick, lap number 1 for Steven Snyder Jr. Everybody still chasing Carter Sarf. His time is a 13.252. Jacob Denny onto the speedway now at Galloway, Ohio, driving the JBL Audio TRD Toyota Mobile One Link Chassis Speedway Toyota number 67. Denny coming around in his opening lap, 22nd quick at 13.894, 1.3894 seconds for the driver of the number 67 machine. Winner of preliminary night competition during the Grand Prix. Followed that up with a 12th place finish. Two-time starter in Indian Midweek competition here at Kokomo. 8th last year. Comes around lap number 2. Better, 13.512. That puts him 13th on the field. Drake Edwards onto the speedway out of Peoria, Arizona. The Avante windows and doors. PristineAuction.com. Petty Performance Racing. CB Industries. Mobile One, number 83. Comes around in his opening lap, 13th quick at a 13.508, 1.3508 seconds. Ran 23rd here 1 year ago at Indiana Midget Week competition. Comes around lap number 2, 6 quick at a 13.442, 1.3442 seconds for Drake Edwards. Move him up into 6th. 30th driver onto the speedway to Perth, Western Australia, driving the QV Automotive Mining Marine, Dasco Supply Group, Valvoline, Spike Chassis, Dan Golding, racing number 71W. This is Daniel Harding. Daniel Harding in the 71. Comes around 28th quick on his opening lap of 14.141, 1.4141 seconds. Paris semi-feature starts so far this week at Circle City and Paragon, a 6th and a 13th place finish in those consolation events. Comes around lap number 2 and slower, a 14.261. Lap number 1, a 14.141 for the driver of the 71W. Corbin Ruschenberg onto the speedway at Mesa, Arizona, driving the CBC Steel Building, Stanton Spike Chassis, Arizona Luxury Garage, MB2 Industries, 7 Development, number 26. Goes 22nd quick on his opening lap at a 13.791, 1.3791 seconds for the former Now 600 Micro driver. 2 feature starts this week, a 21st and a 24th place finish at Circle City and Paragon. Comes around lap number 2, a 14.071. He'll stand on his opening lap, a 13.791, 22nd currently for Corbin Ruschenberg. Out of Morgan Hill, California, driver the Kaiser Wheels, the Van Schocks Brandon Corporation, Western Speed Clot Synthetic Lubricant, Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis number 40. This is Blake Brannon. In the number 40, coming around on his opening lap, 19th quick at a 13.624, 1.3624 seconds for Brannon. Ran 21st here 1 year ago. So far this week in the Elliott's Custom Trailers of Carts semi-feature event, a 7th and a 10th place finish. Comes around lap number 2, a 13.722. He'll stand on his opening lap at 13.624, good enough for 19th at the moment. Final driver on track to qualify comes to you out of Columbus, Indiana. Driver the Midwest 2 Mills Bar Properties, Stanton Link Chassis. The cure starts now. Setzer Fabricating, Lynch Machining, number 43. This is Gunnar Setzer. Gunnar Setzer on track in the number 43. Comes around lap number 1, 23rd quick at a 13.747, 1.3747 seconds for the driver of the number 43. 13th in both nights of the Grand Prix earlier this year. Comes around lap number 2, better 15th at a 13.564, 1.3564 seconds. As that will wrap up Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. 5th quick tonight was Cale Drake in the number 97. 4th quick was Dason Persley. 3rd quick was Kevin Thomas Jr. 2nd quick was Steven Snyder Jr. And tonight your Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier comes to you to Mason City, Illinois. Driver the Provisio, Spike, Speedway Toyota, Collision Concepts, Clearview Glass, number 21K. Race fans, give him a hand, Carter Sarf. Third time in his career, he is your Honest Abe Roofing Quick Qualifier, and the second time this week in as many nights. He is going to get a word with Christy Bemis down at the base of the grandstands.
Well, thank you very much, Brian, as Carter Stark picks up yet another Honest Abe Roofing Fast Qualifying Award this week during Indiana Midget Week. Picked up one over at Paragon, got another one here tonight at Kokomo Speedway. When we were here in April with the Grand Prix, you picked up a second Fast Honest Abe Roofing and qualifying, and now we're talking about the racetrack being quite a bit different given the amount of precipitation we've had over the past week. Was there anything that you found a little bit better to get you just one spot closer?
Yeah, I don't know. It's good that we came here back however long ago it was just to get some laps here. It's one of those places that's, if you don't have a lot of laps out, it's pretty tricky to get around. So, yeah, I think that was big for us to come here during those two races and get some laps. And now I feel like I have somewhat of an idea of what I'm doing, and Paul has somewhat of an idea of where the car needs to be. So, yeah, another good start to the night. Hopefully we can make it out of the heat race tonight and, yeah, put a good night together.
With the way the week unfolded, of course, sitting third in Indiana Midget Week points now coming into the finale tonight. And we talked about the goal for this week was for you to get some top fives each night during Indiana Midget Week. And now we're talking about 2 Honest Abe Roofing Fast Qualifying Awards and some podiums along the way. Now you're sitting in position to potentially pick up an Indiana Midget Week title. Did you have that on your bingo card?
Yeah, that's definitely the end goal. Yeah, we just want to win. I want that first USAC win more than anything. So, yeah, just hoping to be able to get that done. And, yeah, I don't really have the Midget Week points quite on mind. I'm just going to go out there and try and win a race.
Had 2 top 10 finishes here at Kokomo Speedway back during the Kokomo Grand Prix in April. Looking for another one, even a couple spots better here tonight for night number 3 or so of Indiana Midget Week here at Kokomo Speedway.
Thank you very much. We'll have opening ceremonies going on right down there here in just a minute as well, as we await our chaplain for the night as well as the singer of our national anthem. So, ladies and gentlemen, this time, if you have not done so, we would ask that you please rise for tonight's invocation and national anthem. If you would please remove cover, out of respect to those who serve this nation and in honor of those who have given their lives in her defense. If you would, bow your head with us. Our Father in heaven, tonight, before we would go to you and ask of you, we would go to you and give thanks for you. We thank you, Lord, for your glory, your grace, your teachings, and above all, your forgiveness. For, Lord, we fall short of your teachings and your ways, but you never fail to bring us back to your side and to your path. And now, Lord, tonight we would ask of you. We would ask that you watch over the drivers who compete here tonight, that while the fires of competitive nature that drive them would burn bright as ever, the virtues of friendship, sportsmanship, fairness, that they would prevail in a moment otherwise tarnished by anger and regret. We ask not only that you watch over the drivers who would compete here tonight, but all who walk these grounds, the fans, the officials, the crew members, that you would watch over us in every aspect of our lives until you bring us home. And we ask all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Competition here tonight. First on the program will be your Kokomo 410 sprint cars. Before we get to that, you have until 8 o'clock to get down to the USAC merchandise trailer. This is trackside only. Indiana Midget Week t-shirts are 2 for $50 or $30 for 1. The discount only applies for every 2 t-shirts. So, again, they are 2 for $50 while supplies last down at the USAC merchandise trailer. That is until 8 o'clock, so you've got about 35 minutes to get down there and grab your t-shirt while your size, color, and design is still available. With that, sprint cars making their way out.
Sprint cars making their way on. Kokomo Sprint's going to get the night underway with some heat racing action. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. What is up, race fans? My name is Jake Dalton. I'm the track announcer here at Kokomo. And welcome all of you and beautiful race fans here at the track and all of you race fans that are watching live on FloRacing. We're just about ready to get our night of racing underway. Now, as we said, Kokomo Sprint's going to roll their way on to kick things off. We're looking at 4 heat races here for the Kokomo Sprints. And we should see 10 in our first 3 and 9 in our fourth and final one. The top 4 will transfer into tonight's show just like that. So these drivers trying to race their way into tonight's A main here in heat racing action. First field rolling their way on here. We'll be looking at 10 cars here in this first one. Waiting on our last couple cars to roll out on here for heat race number 1. Taking a look at this first heat race, it looks like the 57 of Jack Hoyer, the lone driver in the field that has a heat race win here this year. That is Cale Coons in the 63 that rolls down the front stretch. He will line up on the inside of Jack Hoyer in row 2. So we get ready to kick off our night of racing here at Kokomo Speedway. We're going to get our field lined up here. We are looking at 10 cars. Top 4 are going to transfer. Row 1 will be R.J. Johnson, leading him to green in the 33P on the inside of Trey Osborne. Row 2, Cale Coons in the 63 on the inside of Jack Hoyer in the 57. Row 3 is Bo Brandon in the 21B on the inside of Jaden Rogers. Row 4, Saban Bybit on the inside of Noah Whitehouse. And row 5 is Abby Holbein in the 2A on the inside of Aaron Davis in the 11 car. So one to go sign this time by. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. USAC and the USAC Midgets are in town, and we are honored to have them here with us tonight. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for being here this Sunday night for a Sunday night of racing. Kokomo Sprint's going to kick us off with heat racing action. They roll their way through 3 and 4. Green flag is going to fly. And ladies and gentlemen, we are racing at Kokomo Speedway. Roaring their way through 3 and 4. R.J. Johnson will be our leader as this one gets underway with Trey Osborne behind him in the 6. Remember, the top 4 are going to roll into tonight's A main, so they're racing for a chance to get into the show. That is the transfer spot right here with Jack Hoyer in that red 57 with Bo Brandon behind him. Battle is on for 2nd and 3rd as Cale Coons down to the inside to take the spot on Trey Osborne. Trey Osborne drives across him over, but that is up into P2. There goes Cale Coons. It is R.J. Johnson, Cale Coons, Trey Osborne, and Jack Hoyer that are currently our transfer spots up in the top 4. Bo Brandon, that 21B, trying to reel in Jack Hoyer. 8 laps here for these guys in this heat race. Bo Brandon looks like he's got good pace in that 21B. Can he reel in that red and white 57 of Jack Hoyer? Laps are ticking down. Halfway to go this time by as they're looking nice and smooth up there in the front. R.J. Johnson still our leader. Nice and smooth for him as he rolls his way through 3 and 4. in the Avanti 33P. Laps quickly ticking down here on heat race number 1. RJ Johnson comfortably our leader. Jack Hoyer has comfortably held on to that 4th spot. Trouble for the car in 3rd, which is Trey Osborne. He is puffing up the smoke cloud. Is he going to try to ride it through and make it into tonight's show? He's got a couple laps to try to do it, as he is now, see some flames coming out onto the car there as he rolls down the back stretch. He's still out there trucking and kicking, though, as the white flag is going to wave. Field is getting bunched up behind him now as they're going to make the pass behind him. Bybit tries to get by. But Brandon there, still hanging on to 3rd, though, is Trey Osborne, and RJ Johnson's going to come through 3 and 4 to see the checkered flag, and he will win heat race number 1 with Cale Coons in 2nd. Trey Osborne's smoke cloud of a 6T will survive to make it into the show, and Jack Hoyer rounds out the top 4 for the transfer spots. And RJ Johnson right there in the 33P will take the win. So RJ Johnson, Trey Osborne, Cale Coons, and Jack Hoyer will punch themselves a ticket into the show from heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 going to roll their way on. And here in heat race number 2, we will feature fast qualifier and defending feature winner for the Kokomo Sprints, Robert Ballou. Got the win 2 weeks ago at the 2025 BC Indiana Double, and he will be looking to defend his feature winning crown here tonight. Robert Ballou will be lining up P1. He will lead the field to the green on the inside of Mitchell Moles. The 19 AZ, that is a fast row 1 here for heat race number 2. And they will be followed by Shane Cotto in the 34 on the inside of Zach Pretorius in the 9Z. Row 3 will be Jeff Inside in the 00 on the inside of Brent Sexton in the 44, with RJ Miller in the 34M on the inside of Andrew Cockman. Dave Gross in the 37 on the inside of George Wessel Jr. in the 05 to round things out. If all 10 cars make it out here for heat race number 2, it'll be 8 laps. Looking for the top 4 to transfer into the show tonight. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen, and what is up, race fans? Whether you're here at the racetrack, whether you're watching live on FloRacing, thank you all so much for spending your Sunday night with us to close out Indiana Midget Week. The NOS Energy Drink National Midget Series has been fighting some rain throughout the week. We are thankful to be here tonight for a night of racing action. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that USAC and the USAC boys are back in town late next month, July 26th. So we're here for Indiana Midget Week, and then they will be shown back up for Indiana Sprint Week. And that will be the first appearance of the year for the USAC AmSoil Sprints. We are looking forward to having USAC back in town. That goes down in late July. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, late August, August 21st, 2nd, and 3rd, the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts Sprint Car Smackdown, 3 straight nights of racing, a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. That all goes down right here at Kokomo Speedway. Make sure you guys are here August 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. Or if you're watching live on FloRacing, the Elliott's Custom Trailers Carts Sprint Car Smackdown. You do not want to miss it. We're going to get the field doubled up. We are ready to get back to green flag heat racing action here for the Kokomo Sprints. 10 cars, 8 laps, top 4 going to transfer. We've got 4 cars settled into tonight's A main. RJ Johnson, Cale Coons, Trey Osborne, and Jack Hoyer sit in tonight's A main. We are looking for 4 more to join them. So field is nice and doubled up. We're just about ready to get to green flag action. So I believe we are just waiting for one more sprint to roll on and join us. Field is getting the 1 to go sign. We are ready to get to back. So green flag action here for the Kokomo Sprints. So it looks like we are looking at 9 cars here. 8 laps. Top 4 is going to transfer. George Wessel Jr., I believe, not able to make it out here. The Madman Rubber Baloo on the inside of Mitchell Moles will lead them to the green. Top 4 is going to transfer into the show. 8 laps. Heat race number 2 for the Kokomo Sprints to the green. Through 1 and 2, the outside line is going to work there for Mitchell Moles. He's able to take the lead. Rubber Baloo's going to settle into second. Shane Cottle and Zach Pretorius, the top 4, settle into the transfer spots. And lap 1 does go to Mitchell Moles in the 19 AZ. And we have seen Rubber Baloo have a heck of a battle throughout the year here in this Kokomo Sprints division. He'll look to the inside if he can of this 19 AZ of Mitchell Moles. Zach Pretorius and Shane Cottle still hold comfortably to 3rd and 4th. Rubber Baloo trying to reel in Mitchell Moles. Defending feature winner, Rubber Baloo in the red and white number 12. Had to race his way in through the B main last time they're out, and he's going to slide his way down to the inside here. Mitchell Moles looking for the slide job. Now Mitchell Moles will try to come back down to the inside. They had to dodge Dave Gross there in the 37 of the lap traffic. Now Rubber Baloo's going to have to make the high line work. He's going to slide back down and look for the crossover, and they may have touched there as they went down the backstretch. Rubber Baloo's back out in front now, and can now he try to widen the gap and pull away from the 19 AZ as they roar down the front stretch. Shane Cottle and Zach Pretorius are still our 3rd and 4th transfer spots. Rubber Baloo's able to make the pass up here and get around Mitchell Moles. He is our leader. Jeff Ensign here is trying to reel in Zach Pretorius. This is the battle for the 4th and final transfer spot. Shane Cottle looked like he had a slow exit there out of turn 2. Slowed up all of them. White flag is waving for the field. Shane Cottle and Zach Pretorius hanging on to 3rd and 4th. Madman Rubber Baloo is going to roll out of 3 and 4 and see the checkered flag. He is going to win our second heat race. Zach Pretorius and Shane Cottle still battling here. Does a door open up for Jeff Ensign? It does not, as Shane Cottle and Zach Pretorius come across for that 3rd and 4th spot. Rubber Baloo, Mitchell Moles, Shane Cottle, and Zach Pretorius get it done for the transfer spots, but it is the Madman right there, Rubber Baloo, in the 12 car. That takes the race win. Defending feature winner. Had to race his way in through the B main where he won the B main and then charged his way up from P17 to get the win last time out for the Kokomo Sprints. He's going to start the night off strong with a heat race 2 win. And the Madman Rubber Baloo gets it done. So the Madman takes the win there in heat race number 2. Heat race number 3 is going to roll their way on as that secures 8 drivers into tonight's A main. Rubber Baloo, Mitchell Moles, Shane Cottle, Zach Pretorius, all with tickets punched into tonight's A main. Mitchell Moles took the lead early on there in that first lap. Rubber Baloo was able to fight his way back and take the lead back and hang on for the win. We will see those two later tonight in A main action. And a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, race fans here at the track, that 50-50 tickets are being sold in the front stretch gift shop as well as here in the grandstands all throughout the night. So if you're interested in trying your luck at tonight's 50-50, those tickets are being sold in the grandstands throughout the night, as well as in the front stretch gift shop, 50-50 tickets. Third heat race rolling their way on here for the Kokomo Sprints. We're looking for 4 more cars. that are going to secure themselves a spot in tonight's show. We're here tonight, June 8th, for Indiana Midget Week. This is our lone show here for the month of June here at Kokomo. We will not be back until the month of July, where we will be back July 3rd for the Vince Osmond Sprintacular, and that is our 4th of July weekend celebration show. That is a Thursday night that it goes down on July 3rd. We are looking at the Kokomo Sprints Modified Thunder Cars as well as the Big Time Fireworks Show to close things out the night. That goes down July 3rd. And as we said, remember, ladies and gentlemen, the next time USAC is in town, July 26th. Next time we will see the USAC squad, but it will be the USAC Amsoil Sprints that are in town. That goes down July 26th. Make sure you guys are here for the next time the USAC squad is in town. Get the field doubled up. We're ready to get back to heat racing action here for the Kokomo Sprints. Taking a look at our third group here. Row 1, it'll be Harley Burns in the 16. He'll line up on the inside of Cale Drake in the 2B. Cale Drake in the 2B has already taken home a couple heat race wins this year, and he was fighting big time for the feature win 2 weeks ago. And he got tangled up with some lap traffic as he was leading the race. Late in that race, that spelled the end for him. But he will line up on the outside of Harley Burns on row 1. Row 2 is Logan Calderwood in the 6 on the inside of Braden Clark. Row 3, Cameron LaRose in the 13P on the inside of Kayla Rell in the 4K. Row 4, Nathan Smee in the 42 on the inside of Briar Schroeder in the 21. And Tony Hilton and Brennan Marshall round things out in row number 5. Heat race number 3 here for the Kokomo Sprints. 10 sprints, top 4 are going to transfer, 8 laps of action. It's Harley Burns and Cale Drake that lead him to the green. And big trouble over there in 3 and 4, as I believe that is Brennan Marshall that goes for a tumble over there. And then a few cars are going to get tangled up as well. As quick red flag is going to come out. That was Brennan Marshall that went for the ride over there, and I believe that is Tony Hilton that is facing the wrong way. Scary accident there on the outside of turn 3. As a couple cars collide, Brendan Marshall got sent into the outside wall, and it's not uncommon and not too difficult to see a sprint car go flying like that. And that is going to be Brendan Marshall climbing out of the car right there, ladies and gentlemen, as he gives us a thumbs up after a wicked ride. So Brendan Marshall able to hop out okay. It was Briar Schroeder and Tony Hilton. Those are the 2 cars that are tangled up in that. And good to see Brendan Marshall get out of the car over there. As we saw it pop up right here on FloRacing, there was a whole gaggle of cars. Looked like 4 or 5 of them roaring their way into 3 and 4. And unfortunately, it's Brendan Marshall that comes off worse. Track crew quickly on the scene over there. And we know that Brendan Marshall has gotten out okay. So we're going to let them do their thing over there and get to work on getting that number 43 Kokomo Sprint back to pit lane. Once everything is good to go, we will be dropping the green flag for heat racing action. And we're going to get a replay right here on FloRacing of this accident of Brendan Marshall, as we see take some contact there from someone, and he bumps up into the outside wall, which then sent him flying. And glad to see he climbs out of that. So I believe that is Cameron LaRose that he made contact with. And you see Briar Schroeder and Tony Hilton with nowhere to go. They're just trying to avoid the worst of it. Glad to see Brendan Marshall gets out of the car there after that scary accident, but it was him and Cameron LaRose that made a touch of contact. So clearly that'll put us under red flag conditions here for a short time. We'll let the track crew get everything cleaned up over there on the entrance to turn 3. As we have a quick break, we want to show a quick thanks to some of the folks that make racing possible here at Kokomo, such as financial builders. You can be in control of your own finances. You can become a member today at financialbuilders.org. As well as Sign Here Designs for graphic design needs and services. Please check out Sign Here at signheredesigns.com. And H&R Industrial. With decades of experience in industrial manufacturing, H&R Industrial is dedicated to quality-driven systems and has positioned itself to be a partner throughout the entire process. You can find out more information at hnrindustrial.com. And again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What is up, race fans? Whether you are here at the track, whether you are watching live on FloRacing, we are here ready for Indiana Midget Week here at Kokomo Speedway. And the USAC Midgets have been battling Mother Nature throughout the week, but we are ready for a night of racing here at Kokomo. And a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this is our only show here in the month of June. We will be back July 3rd. For our 4th of July weekend show. That is a Thursday night on July 3rd when it goes down. We will see the Kokomo Sprints, Modifieds, and Thunder cars in action. And we will close things out with fireworks show to celebrate 4th of July weekend. That goes down on July 3rd, a Thursday. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, July 26th for the next time that the USAC squad is in town. That'll be the USAC AmSoil Sprints that night for Indiana Sprint Week. That will be the first appearance of the AmSoil Sprints. That goes down July 26th. Heat race number 3 under red flag here following the accident over there for Brendan Marshall. He's climbed out and giving us the thumbs up. We know that he's okay, letting the track crew get everything cleaned up over there.
I didn't even realize he started last.
Heat race number 1. R.J. Johnson, Trey Osborne, Cale Coons, and Jack Hoyer were our transfer spots. And heat race number 2, Robert Ballou, Mitchell Moles, Shane Cottle, and Zach Pretorius. Those 8s all punched into tonight's show. And we are looking for a top 4 from heat race number 3 once everything is good to go and we get back to green. USAC will be in town July 26th. But we are always looking forward to the month of August. And August 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. That's a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. And that is the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts Sprint Car Smackdown. 3 straight nights of racing here at Kokomo Speedway. And Saturday night, King of the Hill, the one-on-ones. Best 15 minutes of the year. That all goes down August 23rd right here at Kokomo Speedway. And remember, we close the night out with, we close the year out, rather, with the Kokomo Clash on October 10th and 11th. That is always our big-time final show to close out the year here at Kokomo. And October 10th and 11th, that is Friday and Saturday to close out 2025. And a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the XR Hornet Show, that Mother Nature closed the curtains on us. We were supposed to open up the year 2025 back in April with the XR Hornets, and the rain spelled the end to that. We are still hoping to have that XR Hornet Show on August 1st and 2nd. August 1st and 2nd is a Friday and a Saturday. August 1st, the Friday, will be practice and qualifying. It is open to race fans. And August 2nd, we are hoping to have racing for that XR Hornet Show. Kokomo Sprint's going to get rolling back up. And we are about ready to get back to green flag action. Looks like we were able to keep Tony Hilton and Briar Schroeder. So after that accident there for Brendan Marshall, obviously, we're going to lose him. But it looks like we will keep the rest of the field, and we were looking for the top 4 to head into tonight's show. So let's line them up and let's do it again. Row 1, it's Harley Burns on the inside of Cale Drake. Row 2 is Logan Calderwood on the inside of Braden Clark. Row 3 is Cameron LaRose on the inside of Kayla Rell. Row 4 is Nathan Smee on the inside of Briar Schroeder with Tony Hilton. Tony Hilton will be on the outside of row 4, it looks like. And then that is Briar Schroeder in the orange 21. Now he's going to move his way up into the outside of row 4. Got it. Okay. So that's Briar Schroeder on the outside of row 4 with Tony Hilton to round things out. 9 cars. Top 4 is going to transfer 8 laps. They're coming to the green. Heat racing back underway here for the Kokomo Sprints. Cale Drake has shown a lot of pace all year long here in the Kokomo Sprints division. He's going to take the lead here on lap 1 as they slide it through 3 and 4. Harley Burns sent back to 2nd. Battle's going to be on here for the transfer spot. That's Logan Calderwood in the black number 6 with Kayla Rell behind him, and Braden Clark is going to be hungry as we got the 4K of Kayla Rell and the 4C of Braden Clark. Braden Clark riding a wheelie there as he goes through 3 and 4. He's trying to reel in Kayla Rell. This is the battle for the 4th and final transfer spot. Tries to get down to the inside there. Kayla Rell making it work with the outside line. Cale Drake still comfortably our leader. Great shot there as they roar down the front stretch and slide their way into 1 and 2. Kayla Rell nice and smooth there in that 4th and final transfer spot. Braden Clark's going to have to find something if he wants to reel in the 4K. Kayla Rell may put Logan Calderwood here under pressure in the number 6. Cale Drake is comfortably our leader as he widens the gap between him and Harley Burns. Laps wind down here in our 3rd heat race for the Kokomo Sprints. Still another heat race coming up after this. We still got 4 more to punch in. This is Braden Clark and Cameron LaRose duking it out for 5th and 6th there as he bobbled his way through 1 and 2. Did Braden Clark. That allows Cameron LaRose to slide down to the inside. He'll take away the spot. That's P5. He's got a long way to go if he wants to try to reel in Kayla Rell. And now he's going to bounce it through 1 and 2. These guys are duking it out here for 5th and 6th. The white flag is waiting for Cale Drake as he comes across. It looks like it's going to be Cale Drake, Harley Burns, Logan Calderwood, and Kayla Rell that comfortably drive away into the top 4. Cale Drake has looked fast all year long. This will be his 3rd heat race win of the year as he takes the checkered flag. Cale Drake in the 2B wins heat race number 3. Third heat race win of the year for Cale Drake. He has also taken home a fast time this year. And he is still looking to grab his first feature win of 2025. Had a great chance at it a couple weeks ago. He got tangled up with some lap traffic late in the race, and that opened up a whole new race. But he starts his night here with a heat race win. Keep your eyes on Cale Drake in feature racing later on for the Kokomo Sprints. Heat race number 4. About to roll its way on here. 4th and final heat race for the Kokomo Sprints. We're looking for 4 more. That 1-2 punch a ticket into tonight's show. And beautiful crowd here tonight for the closing night of Indiana Midget Week. As we said, it's been a tough battle with Mother Nature throughout the week, but glad we're here on Sunday night to close things out strong. And as Brian had talked about, there are a lot of drivers in contention to win Indiana Midget Week because there have been so few nights. So Mother Nature depriving us of racing, but is going to really shake up the final standings here tonight in that Indiana Midget battle when we get into that later tonight. 1 more heat race here for the Kokomo Sprints. We'll be jumping into heat racing for the NOS Energy Drink and Midgets shortly after this. Fourth and final heat race rolling their way on for the Kokomo Sprints. Looking at some fast cars here in this one. Kevin Thomas Jr. will line up on the outside of row 1 And he was our feature winner back in our very first night, opening night of 2025 at the Kokomo Grand Prix, where we saw the Kokomo Sprints run along with the USAC Midgets. And it was Kevin Thomas Jr. and Robert Ballou. It came down to 3 and 4 on the final lap. But Kevin Thomas Jr. held on in the end. And Kevin Thomas Jr. and Robert Ballou, the only 2 drivers here in the field that have taken a feature win this year. Can one of those drivers grab their second feature win of the year? Or are we looking for a driver to grab their first feature win of 2025? That is Jake Swanson right there in that black number 47. He will lead the field to the green. It appeared like he was having some car trouble back in group qualifying. He was puffing a bit of a smoke cloud during qualifying action. He's going to lead the field to the green. He'll line up on the inside of Kevin Thomas Jr. Jake Swanson, the 47, on the inside of KTJ. Row 2 is Rylan Gray in the 1 car on the inside of Sam Hines in the 71H. Row 3, Parker Fredrickson in the 21 on the inside of Cole Kirkman in the 81K. Row 4, Brandon Maddox on the inside of Ricky Lewis and Devin Myers to round things out as our 4th and final heat race for the Kokomo Sprints rolls to 1 to go. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Final heat race of the evening for the Kokomo Sprints. USAC National Midgets waiting in the wings for some heat racing action. First, we got 4 more cars to punch into the show. Jake Swanson and Kevin Thomas Jr. lead them to the green. Just like that, Rylan Gray is going to send it down to the inside. They'll nearly be 3 wide for the lead as he's going to collide there with Jake Swanson. It's 3 wide as they roar down the backstretch and into 3 and 4. Who's going to take the high line and who's going to make it work? They're bobbling all through 3 and 4. Jake Swanson is going to be the leader as they come out and send it into 1 and 2. Rylan Gray able to work his way up into second. Kevin Thomas Jr. is duking it out with Sam Hines. Now can Kevin Thomas Jr. reel in Rylan Gray here as they roll through 3 and 4. Jake Swanson trying to widen the gap after a hectic first lap here in our final heat race for the Kokomo Sprints. This is Sam Hines and Kevin Thomas Jr. They're battling for 3rd and 4th. Sam Hines looking to give himself an insurance spot and take away P3 here by doing it on the high side, and he'll do just that. Up into 3rd goes Sam Hines. Now can Ricky Lewis go to work here on Kevin Thomas Jr. for the final transfer spot. Jake Swanson still comfortably our leader. Rylan Gray trying to reel him in. Kevin Thomas Jr. looks like he may be struggling out there, and I think Ricky Lewis is going to have a chance here to take this 4th and final transfer spot. Laps are winding down. Jake Swanson comfortably our leader. We are watching 4th and 5th. Chance to punch your ticket into the show. Ricky Lewis is going to bounce it through turn 3 right there. 2 to go as they come by right here. Jake Swanson still our leader. Big smoke cloud's going to come out of Kevin Thomas Jr. right there. It was looking like he may have been having some trouble, and he's going to roll it down into the infield. That is former feature winner from week 1. Not going to finish the heat race here. He may have to race his way in through the B main. Jake Swanson here in the 47. He is puffing out some smoke as well, but he's going to be the one to take the checkered flag. Jake Swanson, what a race for him. Rylan Gray, Sam Hines, and Ricky Lewis will round out the top 4. And tough break for our night 1 feature winner, KTJ. He ends his heat race down in the infield, and Jake Swanson there in the 47 gets it done. So heat race number 4 comes to a close there for the Kokomo Sprints, as Jake Swanson, Rylan Gray, Sam Hines, and Ricky Lewis able to get up into the top 4. And we'll see if Kevin Thomas Jr. can get that number 15 Kokomo Sprint fixed up for some B main racing later tonight. If so, he's going to have to race his way in through the B main. And we'll see if KTJ can get it done when B main racing rolls its way around. But that is going to do it for Kokomo Sprints, ladies and gentlemen. Next time we see them, it'll be for some B main racing action. USAC National Midgets about to roll their way on. We will see some heat racing for them. And for the USAC National Midgets heat racing action. I will throw things back over to the voice of USAC, Brian Halpert. Brian, it's all yours, man.
Thank you very much. First of 4 heat races for the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship set to make its way out to the Speedway. Each of these will be 10 laps in distance. Top 5 will transfer directly into your feature event. Everybody else into your Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts semi-feature event. Out of Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, inversion into each of the heat races is 6, so your quick qualifier will line up on the right of row number 3 in heat race number 1. Second quick will start 6 in heat race number 2, and so on. Toyota Race and Development Pace Truck already making laps on the Speedway, and we go into Car IQ Heat Race number 1. They'll roll to the green like this. Driver on the poles out of Belpre, Ohio, driver of the Belling Racing Equipment, S2 Cybersecurity, Signs of Life Graphics, Stanton XXX number 8. It's going to be Zach Weigel next to him. He was handing out autograph cars during the Sprint Car Heat Races out of Titusville, Florida, driver of the Precise Tooling Solutions, TRD Mobile 1, link number 67K. That'll be Colton Robinson. Second row from the inside, Rylan Gray. He's out of Greenfield, Indiana, driver of the AceCorp.com. Link chassis, Kaiser Will Gray out on number 81G. And for the 4th starting spot, that'll be Justin Grant out of Ione, California. The NOS Energy Drink, PristineAuction.com, Mobile 1, Toyota Racing Development, number 87. Next row from the inside, out of Collinsville, Oklahoma, the iBlock Toyota KKM Give Back Classic, number 97K. It'll be Kel Drake. And tonight's Honest Abe Roofing quick qualifier from the 6th starting spot at Mason City, Illinois, the Provisio Speedway Toyota Spike Chassis 21K. That is Carter Sarf. Out of Chino Valley, Arizona, lining up in 7th is going to be Preston Norberry, the Kodiak product, Coyote Race Cars, Mopar DRC number 77AZ, and next to him, that'll be Frankie Guarini out of San Rafael, California, the F&F Racing Z-Max number 63. Final starter set to be Mark Chisholm out of New Berlin, Illinois, driver of the Performance Driveline Toyota Link Chassis, Jake Newman Racing, Chisholm owned number 56X. As that'll be your scheduled lineup for Car IQ Heat Race number 1 of 4 tonight with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Again, 10 laps, top 5. Race directly into the feature event. Joining me in the booth, as always, Miss Christy Bemis.
Howdy.
How do?
Not too bad.
33 drivers on hand here tonight. We have 4 heat races of competition. Cars begin to make their way out to the Speedway, and I believe Drake York might have something to say.
I do. Unfortunately, sometimes I do. But anyways, Brian, wanted to talk about Cale Drake. Of course, he had that really, really good effort in Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. We talked to him back in the pre-race show about how important qualifying was going to be for him tonight. Of course, if you go to the only 2 nights we've ran so far during Indiana Midweek, qualifying hasn't really been his strong suit. As a matter of fact, he's had to win the heat race both nights so far of Indiana Midweek to even really have a shot at the top 5, much less the podium at the very end of these main events. And tonight, as you heard him say in the interview I did with him earlier, he said, well, we're going to qualify good or I'm going to land in the fence. Well, good news is he's qualified so good that if he's able to make it straight out of this heat race, he'll start on the front row of the finale of Indiana Midweek, which would be huge for him trying to pick up his first Indiana Midweek title. And of course, he's also running double duty tonight in the sprint car. Of course, that car he normally drives with Scott Bennett with 2B Racing. To give you a little bit of insight of how that's working so far, he had a pretty late heat race in the sprint car. He jumped straight out of the sprint car onto a KKM quad, didn't even take his helmet off before he was already on his way on a quad to get into the 97K Midget. A hectic night for him, no doubt about it.
Some of the fun of running double duty is sometimes you'll have that on those big jobs.
Yeah, he's been bouncing around like that all week. You've hardly ever seen him take a rest. And as Drake mentioned, assuming all things go well for Cale Drake, could potentially start on the front row of tonight's Indiana Midget Week finale. However, that can always change, as we talk about this often, if drivers who are in that top 6 invert end up missing the heat race transfer directly from the heat races. That can then push some of those drivers that are sitting 5th, 6th, 7th forward into the inversion.
Remember, there's 17 drivers with a mathematical shot of landing that $15,000 prize this week. So Mother Nature kind of throwing things into a bit of a tizzy to where mathematically there's a whole lot of drivers out here chasing that carrot.
And in a very similar way, there's not a ton of room for error, as these drivers haven't had a lot of races to be able to have some great nights and some not so great nights. And of course, for Carter Sarf, who was tonight's Honest Abe Roofing Fast Qualifier, sitting on the outside of row number 3 for this heat race, he's also sitting in a pretty good position for an Indiana Midget Week title. And of course, qualifying points don't hurt those chances at all.
Pair of top 10 so far this week, including a podium finish to start the week off up at Circle City. So we'll see how things fare as we get ready to go into Car IQ Heat Race number 1. Past the NOS Energy start can off of turn number 4. We're underway. Weigel in the 8 going to lead him off into turns 1 and 2. We'll see how he fares. They make their way onto the back straightaway. And not good. They're going to bring it back. We're going to try it again.
Not good at all. So it looks like somebody probably going to be penalized here for jumping and starting. It will be the 8 of Zach Weigel. He's going to get shuffled back a row, which then pushes the 81G of Rylan Gray to the outside of the front row and moves Colton Robinson effectively to the inside of the front row.
Again, side by side until they reach the NOS Energy start can.
So try this again.
Field lined up. Again, change the guard with the front of the field. The 8 called on the jump, and here we go. Back to green.
Looked like a much more even start that time between Colton Robinson and Rylan Gray on the front row. But here comes Justin Grant around the outside. That shuffles Colton Robinson back to third, and Justin Grant with a full head of steam.
Justin Grant, the 87, charging right up there to see if he can challenge for the top spot. Rylan Gray, in the meantime, going to come around and lead lap number 1. Grant running in second. Robinson, Sarf, Weigel. Those are the 5 drivers in transfer spots with 9 laps remaining. Grant looking back to Grand Prix winner on night number 2. So trying to pick up another one here as he comes around, still running that second spot. Rylan Gray has to be happier so far. Remember, opening night, that car would not run it tonight. She's definitely running on all 4.
So Rylan Gray so far able to hold off the charge of the 87 of Justin Grant. Looks like he might have another opportunity here in turns number 3 and 4. Rylan Gray going to maintain the lead.
Still Gray, then Grant. Then it's going to be Robinson running in 3rd. Sarf running in 4th. Weigel trying to hold on to 5th. Oh, look out. Sarf all kinds of sideways at the exit turn number 2. Drops himself right out of a transfer spot and saves Zach Weigel, who had fallen out of a transfer spot for a second.
That was a huge moment for Carter Sarf over in turns number 1 and 2. Got up into the messy stuff there on the top side of the racetrack and just threw that car all up into a tizzy. Almost got it flipped over upside down, but able to gather it back up. And now, as you mentioned, riding around in a transfer position, but just barely hanging on.
Able to get back by the 8 of Weigel, puts him just 1 spot shy and moving on directly into your feature event. As we look back front to Rylan Gray, still leading now, putting distance between himself and Justin Grant. Colton Robinson in that 3rd spot, trying to close on him as Cale Drake in 4th. Carter Sarf still running in 5th. Weigel, Guarini, Norberry, Chisholm round out your running order for the time being. This time, 3 to go.
Colton Robinson sitting in that 3rd position. He's going to soon have some company out of the 97K of Cale Drake. That is your Indiana Midget Week points leader going into turn number 2 and trying to hold off a charge from Carter Sarf as well.
Able to take it from the top to the bottom and get that moisture at the exit of turn number 2. Going to do the same over in turns 3 and 4. Works by the Precise Tooling Solutions, number 67K. The KKM Curve Genius driver is going to go at it for the 3rd spot. Advantage will be to Drake onto the back straightaway. White flag out this time, though, for Rylan Gray.
Carter Sarf currently holding down that final transfer position. Zach Weigel is 1 spot out looking in. Remember, he originally started on the front row of this Car IQ Heat Race number 1 and now is going to battle to see if he can make it straight through to the feature event. But Rylan Gray going to take home Car IQ Heat Race number 1.
Justin Grant going to cross in 2nd. Cale Drake in 3rd. Colton Robinson in 4th. Carter Sarf in 5th. Zach Weigel, Frankie Guarini, Preston Norberry, and Mark Chisholm unofficially rounding out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Greenfield, Indiana. Driving the Ace Corp, Kaiser Wills, Gray Auto, Stanton Power Link chassis number 81G. Race fans, give him a hand, Rylan Gray. Justin Grant in 2nd, Cale Drake in 3rd, Colton Robinson in 4th, Carter Sarf in 5th. Those 5 drivers moving on to the feature event. Zach Weigel, Frankie Guarini, Preston Norberry, and Mark Chisholm. Those drivers heading on into your Elliott's Custom Trailers, the Kart semi-feature event. He'll pull it down to the infield. We'll take it down to Drake York.
What a difference in 2 nights here for Indiana Midget Week. For Greenfield, Indiana's Rylan Gray had all sorts of issues with that airbox down at Circle City Raceway. Rebounds tonight with his first heat race win of the 2025 season here in Car IQ Heat Race number 1. And Rylan, I think it's safe to say that the issues have been sorted out. And we were talking earlier about Cale Drake pulling double duty, but you were in a totally different discipline yesterday at Toledo racing on pavement. What's it been like bouncing back and forth between dirt sprint car, pavement sprint car, and dirt midget?
Yeah, it's just, it helps me a lot as a driver to learn different types of racing quick, and we're finding speed in the pavement pretty fast. We went 8th at Toledo last night, and, I just can't thank Tony Helen and Ace Corporation enough for the opportunity to let me race. This car's for him, and he's giving us a shot, and I can't thank him enough for all the opportunities he's given me, and I can't thank everyone on the car as well. Gray Auto, Fadley Farms, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, Jason Kiefer Racing. Hopefully we can keep the speed up and grab a win tonight.
Rylan Gray, in only his second appearance of 2025, walks away with a heat race win here in Car IQ Heat Race number 1.
15th driver so far this season to pick up a heat race win. Congratulations to the driver, the number 81G, winner in Car IQ Heat Race number 1. K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2, going to make its way out to the Speedway. Again, looking for 5 more drivers to race their way into the show. Driver to Bixby, Oklahoma on the pole, the Mobile 1 TRD Crib Wreckers Toyota 71K. It's going to be Cannon McIntosh next to him in 97. That's going to be Gavin Miller out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Driver of the Sound Gear TRD Mobile 1, Link Chassis 97. Next row from the inside at a Galloway, Ohio, the JBL TRD Toyota number 67. It'll be Jacob Denny in from the 4th starting spot. And at Mooresville, North Carolina, the Bellwood Auto Body Spike Stanton powered DC Machine number 55. That'll be Trevor Klein. 5th starter in this one out of Peoria, Arizona. It'll be Drake Edwards, the Avante Windows and Doors, PristineAuction.com, Spike Chassis number 83. And from the 6th starting spot, he's out of Rising Sun, Maryland. It's Steven Snyder Jr. in the RMS Racing and EnviroFab Valco Wheels number 4. Final row from the inside to Perth, Western Australia, Cade Manders in the Dasco Supply Group, Valvoline number 71. And your final starter, he's out of Evansville, Indiana. 8th on the list is Jeff Schindler in the United Mechanical Felker Spike number 8X. As that'll be your scheduled lineup for K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 2 of 4 tonight with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Cannon McIntosh, your pole sitter here in K1 Race Gear Heat Race number 3, currently 3rd in USAC National standings. Gavin Miller currently 8th in the points. Jacob Denny in the 67, currently sitting in 4th. Trevor Klein, his first visit of the season in the 55. Drake Edwards in the number 83. He sits 9th in points right now. Steven Snyder Jr. in the 4, our leading Rookie of the Year contender. He currently sits in 7th. There's Caden Manders and Jeff Schindler. We see him off and on throughout the years.
And so all of that to say, this is a pretty stacked heat race.
Very. And if you're Pete and Bo down to the pits, you've got a lot of work to do.
In a short amount of time.
3 KKM Kerbogagenian cars sit in the lineup. A Klein-owned machine, a boat-owned machine, an RMS machine. As we get ready to get after it here, again, the NOS Energy start cam, the exit at turn number 4. That's where they will fire. They come around, they find it, we're underway.
A really good start on the bottom side of the racetrack for Cannon McIntosh, who's going to take the early lead. He's not followed too far behind by Gavin Miller, who's comfortably in 2nd right now. But here comes Jacob Denny down to the inside.
Denny trying the inside, bounces the car a little bit. The car gets upset. He falls right back into that 3rd spot as Gavin Miller holds on to 2nd. Boy, Cannon McIntosh changes lanes, goes from the top to the bottom. That forces Miller on the binders and opens the door for Jacob Denny to get a run. Oh my, a little too high, but he saves it. Wow.
Yeah, so Gavin Miller going to collect it and sit back in 3rd place now as Jacob Denny still not going to shy away from the top side of the racetrack. Cannon McIntosh also comfortable on the top side, but a little bit of contact back here between Drake Edwards and Steven Snyder Jr. fighting for that 5th position.
Testing the tenacity of the sidewalls on those tires here as they roll into turns 1 and 2. Snyder down to the inside in the 4. Remember, had a fantastic performance back here during the Kokomo Grand Prix. Now trying to fight his way into the show tonight. He sits just outside of a transfer spot. He works to the inside of Edwards. Still can't get by him, though, as it's McIntosh holding on to the top spot. Here comes Snyder once again. Edwards on the outside holds strong.
Drake Edwards, remember, picked up his first career Honest Abe Roofing Fast Qualifier Award. Just got a little bit upset on the cushion, but still has the advantage over Snyder.
Snyder had to wait on the car a little bit. The exit turn number 4. Edwards able to drive back by him now. Again, they nearly tap to the back straightaway. Battle for the final transfer spot. Who wants to run the semi? Who wants to run the main event? It will be Snyder this time as they do make contact. A little bit of smoke off of the sidewalls. It is tooth and nail racing out there. Edwards coming back after him.
The gloves are off between these two, and Snyder catches a rut. He gets on the bicycle, and that gives Edwards the advantage back.
So Drake Edwards back into the final transfer spot as Cannon McIntosh continues to lead. 2 remain this time, and they cross the start-finish line. Snyder losing ground now as they work into turns 3 and 4, trying to pedal it back up there. Maybe something on the car going away. Remember, he hooked that rud, and now it is really leaned over on the right side hard as he's trying to hold off the charge of Manders.
So on that previous lap, Steven Snyder Jr. did lose a ton of ground over in turn number 2, got back on the bicycle, had to stop on the car just to let it get gathered back up, and that allowed Drake Edwards to really pull away from him.
Checkered flag going to drop in this one, and Cannon McIntosh on the Mobile 171K going to grab the heat race win. Jacob Denny going to cross in second. Third going to go to Gavin Miller. Trevor Klein, a little puff of smoke in the 55, but he holds on to fourth. And Drake Edwards with the final transfer into your feature event. Snyder, Manders, then Schindler unofficially rounding out your field. So your winner, ladies and gentlemen, driver coming to you out of Bixby, Oklahoma, the Mobile 1, TRD, KKM, Kirby, Gajanian, and Link Speedway Toyota Power number 71K. Race fans, give him a hand. Cannon McIntosh. Jacob Denny in second, Gavin Miller in third, Trevor Klein in fourth, Drake Edwards in fifth, Steven Snyder Jr. in sixth, Caden Manders and Jeff Schindler rounding out your field down to Genevieve.
Thanks, Brian. Cannon McIntosh with his third heat race of the season. Cannon, you're the K1 Race Gear Heat 2 winner. Now, Cannon, you qualified 22nd. How big of adjustment did you have to make, especially with this track changing from qualifying to heat races?
Yeah, we made a lot of changes. Just something felt wrong. The last couple nights, just balance just hasn't felt great. So changed a bunch of things, and I feel like right away there in the heat race, we were 10 times better. So really good car right now, really good race pace. So see what we can do in the future. But big thanks to these guys, Mobile 1 and Toyota.
Congratulations, Cannon McIntosh, our K1 Race Gear Heat 2 winner.
Thank you very much. USACgear.com heat race number 3 begin to make its way out to the Speedway. Driver of the pole, this one is out of Beverly, Louisiana. The Dusty Moon Veterinary Services, Clanton Enterprises number 4B. It's going to be Shelby Hinton lining up next to him. You'll find Thomas Mesrall out of San Jose, California. Driver of the England Machine and Tool, T-Mez TV, EA Stealth Spike Chassis number 7X. Next row from the inside, Gunnar Setzer. He's out of Columbus, Indiana. Driver of the Midwest 2 Mills Bar Properties, Link Chassis number 43. And for the 4th starting spot, the Sierra Towing and Crushing Sonny's Grocery, Chandler Grand Prix 00. The driver to Canyon, Texas, that is Bricken Reese. 5th starter, Logan Seavey out of Sutter, California. Driver of the Indy Power Sports. Sharanoff Cosmetic Surgery, Prime 47, Mountain Mechanical Contractor, CGCPA's number 57. And outside of him, it's Kevin Thomas Jr. to Coleman, Alabama. The Inferno Armor Metalloid 1 Shop, AngryDuck.com, Link Chassis number 14. Final row for the inside, 7 starters. Cale Coons out of Greencastle, Indiana. Driver the Curb Wreckers, D Company's Impact number 63. And your final starter is Daniel Harding. He's out of Perth, Western Australia. Driver the QV Automotive Mining Marine, Spike Chassis Valvoline number 71W. That'll be your scheduled lineup for USACgear.com heat race number 3. One more to go after this. That'll be Cookout heat race number 4.
So you're seeing the Zamboni go across here at Kokomo Speedway, one of the fun things about this racetrack. But just some conversations earlier before racing got started with Kevin Thomas Jr., and we were sort of inquiring about drivers that have won both an Indiana Midget Week title and an Indiana Sprint Week title. And just off the top of our heads, we can think of Brian Clausen and Logan Seavey as being potentially the only two who have done so. But Kevin Thomas Jr. seemed particularly interested in adding his name to that list.
And that is correct.
Did we look?
Checked with Richie.
Okay, fantastic.
He did confirm it.
I love being right.
Field set to go to green. Toyota Racing Development pace truck down into the infield. Again, 10 times around. Got to be in the top 5 to move on into the feature event. We're underway.
So again, the inside of the racetrack seems to be the preferred line. Oh my gosh, so close to getting together there for the race for third.
You can say that battle for the final podium step was about to need some repair there as they work onto the front straightaway. They're still side by side. Gunnar Setzer and Brecken Reese. Setzer tried the inside on the 7, not able to get there, had to wait on the car, and now the 00 is going to take advantage. Up into third, up front while all this is going on. That's going to be Shelby Hinton showing the way.
And Kevin Thomas Jr. starting to sneak in there as well. He's in the 5th position right now, trying to make a move for 4th.
JTJ down to the bottom, seeing if he can get the insurance spot here. Driver on the outside, Logan Seavey working the top. Behind him, the 63 of Cale Coons right through the middle. Coons going to have the advantage in the curve, number 63.
And there goes the move out of Kevin Thomas Jr. across the front of the 43 of Gunnar Setzer. Now Kevin Thomas Jr. going to hold down 4th.
KTJ around the bottom side of the speedway, trying to close in on the Sierra Towing and Crushing 00. Brecken Reese, the 7X of Thomas Mesrall riding in Sega, but so far nobody able to keep pace with Shelby Hinton. And that Clan Enterprises number 4B going up about right rear all the way up into the fluff, brings it back down across the racetrack. His advantage just shy of 0.8 of a second right now with 5 to go.
And we saw that diamond line happening with Justin Grant over during the spring race here for the Grand Prix. Justin Grant making very similar moves, and of course he went on to win that night.
Earlier this year, Shelby Hinton struggling to get the car running. Had issues during the Kokomo Grand Prix, has 4 career starts in Indiana Midget Week competition, all of those in 2023. His best finish was a 20th at the Gas City, so looking to really improve here. 1 start on the week, that was at Paragon. Unfortunately, an engine issue sidelined him early, but he leads the way here in USACgear.com heat race number 3, Thomas Meserol. Taking that same line that we saw Hinton take just a couple laps ago as caution, Setzer. Issues over at turn number 2. He's going to roll to a stop to the back straightaway.
Yeah, I didn't get to see exactly what happened, but it seemed more mechanical than anything without having seen what happened.
Side by side up behind the number 43. See if he's able to refire. So far, no fire into the hood. No obvious damage on the right side as he will exit stage right.
So a number of issues that could be happening that caused a loss of power.
Crew queuing up a replay here on the FloRacing broadcast. This is the speed shot going into turns 1 and 2, and you are correct. Looked like something coming awry as the car you see goes in, sets, and all of a sudden just kind of sits up and no longer under power.
So I'm loving this for Shelby Hinton, who doesn't even have a number on the tail tank, which means that they've been working really hard on getting this race car put together. And the amount of speed he's carrying right now is incredible. But Thomas Meserol getting a little bit sideways on the start there.
Yeah, Meserol on the throttle. He saw the car just jump around underneath him. He's able to hold on to that second spot. Again, they have to pass nose to tail, past the NOS Energy start camp. So that saves him a little bit there. It's behind him. Kevin Thomas Jr. going to take advantage of the restart. Contact behind him. He's going to come around for third. Brecken Reese in fourth. Cale Coons trying to hold on to a top 5 position. Logan Seavey right there as well, as those 4 drivers going to race on to turns 3 and 4. They'll come around this time to find the lap coat flying.
Logan Seavey going to have to find an extra gear if he wants a direct ticket into tonight's main event for the finale of Indiana Midget Week. But meanwhile, Shelby Hinton all the way down the backstretch into turns number 3 and 4. Bob East and Terry Klatt have got that thing on the right track. He's going to pick up heat race number 3.
All smiles for the driver of the 4B as he picked up the heat race win. Thomas Meserol in second, Kevin Thomas Jr. in third, Cale Coons, Brecken Reese your top 5, Seavey, Harding, and Setzer unofficially rounding out your field. So your winner, ladies and gentlemen, the Dusty Moon Veterinary Services, Chevrolet Beast Klotz Lubricants, Klatt Enterprises number 4B. Race fans, give him a hand, Shelby Hinton. Thomas Meserol in second, Kevin Thomas Jr. in third, Cale Coons in fourth, Brecken Reese in fifth, Logan Seavey, Daniel Harding, and Gunnar Setzer unofficially running out your field. Oh, by the way, not only did he have the engine problems, but the other night, the steering gear came loose, and it was fighting him inside the car as well. So he still had to wrestle her to the win. We'll find out what he has to say about it with Drake York.
Another driver snagging their first heat race win of the 2025 season here in USACgear.com heat race number 3. That, of course, is Shelby Hinton, and you guys have talked about it a couple of times during this heat race. It has been a tough go of it for Shelby Hinton, the Klatt number 4. Mechanical issue after mechanical issue. Even qualified for the feature event at Paragon, but wasn't able to take the green flag. And Shelby, a heat race win is always nice, but how big a relief of it is it that this thing is actually running and under power and competitive at that?
Yeah, it feels good to actually be up front for once, even if it was a heat race. We're still working on this thing, trying to get it tuned in. And after that stellar qualifying performance, I knew I had to win my heat race. And luckily that went my way. And we still got plenty of work to do, but it's a step in the right direction for sure.
A step in the right direction, indeed. Shelby Hinton, your winner of USACgear.com heat race number 3.
Thank you very much. Cookout heat race number 4. Looking fresh out to the Speedway. Let's go in and give you the lineup. Corbin Ruschenberg in Mesa, Arizona, the CBC Steel Building. Spike Chassis, Arizona Luxury Garage. Scott Ruschenberg on number 26, slated for the pole position. Next to him, Blake Brandon out of Morgan Hill, California. The Kaiser, Advanced Shocks, Brandon Corporation, Western Speed, number 40. Next row for the inside, that will be Ethan Mitchell. He's out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The Millbridge Speedway, FK Indy Walker Filtration. The Joy of Seating, number 19M. The 19AZ is going to be Hayden Reinbold in the AME Electrical Indy Race Parts Stanton Spike Chassis entry out of Gilbert, Arizona. Jacob Boxhill out of Zanesville, Indiana. The Inferno Armor Metalloid 1. Acro Seal, 4 Kings Racing, 14JB. He'll roll from 5th from 6th. Your 2024 Midget Week champion, Dason Pursley to Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The PursineAuction.com, NOS Energy Spike Speedway Toyota number 86. Final row for the inside, Tom Payette out of Perth, Western Australia, driving the Merger Contracting Toyota Link Chassis 7AU. And your final starter is in the 8AU. Jake Robinson, also out of Perth, Western Australia, driving the Mannington Toyota Monty Farms Toyota Link Chassis entry. As that'll be your scheduled lineup here for Cookout Heat Race number 4, I believe, Drake with another update.
Well, you mentioned Ethan Mitchell making the call here for our 4th and final heat race on the evening, Brian, and race fans that may not be familiar with Ethan Mitchell may have heard us refer to him as Little Bundy. Of course, we know his dad is just Bundy. Well, it's been a bit of a time since we saw Big Bundy at the racetrack, but I ran into him in the pit area earlier today. Spirits are high, of course. If you remember back a few years ago, he had some health scares, wasn't able to come to the racetrack nearly as much. So good to see the family happy and healthy here at the racetrack, and Big Bundy was telling me he's really excited with how these Honda motors have been running lately and just the race program as a whole. We'll see Ethan here on the inside of number 2 here for this 4th and final heat race.
Thank you very much. Toyota Racing Development pace truck bringing the field onto the back straightaway. Again, Ruschenberg in the 26, Brandon in the 40, run number 1, Ethan Mitchell in the 19, Hayden Reinbold in the 19 AZ in run number 2, Jacob Boxell from 5th, Dason Pursley from 6th, Tom Payette and Jake Robinson. Again, round out your lineup at Cookout Heat Race number 4. Ruschenberg in his Indiana Midweek debut, a 21st and a 24th place finish so far this week for the driver, the number 26, Blake Brannon. Last year in this event, he ran 21st. One of his 2 career Midget Week starts for the driver, the number 40. Normally we see him when we head out to the West Coast as well. So field set to go to green. NOS Energy start can at the exit at turn number 4. That's where they can fire. They roll up on it. The green flag flies. We get after it here in Cookout Heat Race number 4.
Well, a little bit of contact between your leaders there. Just a little bit of a bump in the back from Blake Brannon to Corbin Ruschenberg, which ended up sending Brannon backwards just a little bit, and now some company out of Ethan Mitchell.
3 wide, almost 4 wide for the second spot. Hayden Reinbold, Ethan Mitchell going to duke it out for the runner-up spot here. It's going to be Reinbold on the inside of the AME Electrical, number 19 AZ, the 19M chasing him off into turns 3 and 4. He'll enter high, then swing it low, tries to grab some grip on the bottom side. It's going to be Reinbold holding him off, as here comes Jacob Boxell in the 14 now into that mix, up into a transfer spot, all important. If he doesn't make the transfer, that's going to shake things up in a big way in those first 3 rows.
Entirely, as Dason Pursley also rounding out those transfer positions right now, trying to get a little bit more speed as he's got some pressure out of Tom Payette.
Up front, it continues to be Corbin Ruschenberg leading it. Reinbold, Mitchell, Boxell, Pursley, Payette, Brannon, and Robinson currently round out your running order as Reinbold patiently off the bottom side of the speedway. Ethan Mitchell, he's moved his line around. He's gone from the top. He's diamond. He's stayed to the high side, gone to the low side, but has not been able to reel in Hayden Reinbold to see if he can get one more spot here.
Corbin Ruschenberg just found the limit of Kokomo Speedway over in turns number 2 on that last lap by. Found where that ledge kind of levels off, and it turned the nose of the car toward the wall, but he was able to gather it back up, and now we've got one stopped in 2.
Backed up the wall, I believe. It is Tom Payette in the 7. Went around, and the tail tank up against the concrete. They'll get Payette pointed back in the right direction, see if he's able to refire. Corbin Ruschenberg in the 26. Driver moving up out of the National Open Wheel 600 micro ranks into the midget ranks over the last couple of seasons. Hayden Reinbold lining up at that second spot. Studio 56 bringing a replay here on the FloRacing broadcast. The shot going into turns 1 and 2, and the tractor tire remains undefeated.
It wins every time. So luckily, honestly, it could have been a lot worse for Payette, but just getting stopped and having to get turned back in the right direction did make a little bit of contact with the outside wall, it seemed.
Lucky that tire was kind of loaded with water. It kept it from really getting the car a little bit more skywards or possibly destroying the front suspension. As we go back to green, Ruschenberg going to take right back off of it. Battle for the third spot. Here comes Boxell in the 14 with a good run to the bottom side. Exiting turn number 2. Pursley trying to join him and see if he can get by the 19.
I was curious to see on the restart what Hayden Reinbold might have for Corbin Ruschenberg and that, just the speed that the 19 has been carrying. But Ruschenberg so far able to remain out front by a pretty comfortable distance.
Getting the rubber band wound up. Little Bundy, he had fallen back a couple of spots on the restart. He gets the rubber band wound, and he gets back up into third. Boxell running in fourth, and Pursley still with the final transfer into the feature event. Brandon, Robinson, Payette. That rounds out your running order. 2 laps remain. White flag coming next time by.
And Dason Persley looking to be doing a little bit of searching right now, trying to make his way around the outside of Jacob Boxell. Not able to do so just yet as they head into turn number 3.
The Aussies bouncing around to the back of the field. Payette a little bit more than the 8 machine as they come around this time with 1 to go. Up front, challenge for the lead. Hayden Reinbold tried the inside on Corbin Rosenberg through turns 1 and 2. Nothing happened there. He'll try it again through turns 3 and 4. Drag race down to the checkered flag. Rosenberg in 26. Going to get the job done at Cookout Heat Race number 4. Hayden Reinbold in second, Ethan Mitchell in third, Dason Persley, Jacob Boxell. Those 5 drivers going to move on into your feature event. Brandon, Robinson, and Payette unofficially rounding out your field. So your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he's out of Mesa, Arizona, driving the CBC Steel Building, Spikes, Stanton 7 Development, MB2 Industries number 26. Race fans, give him a hand, Corbin Rosenberg. Hayden Reinbold in second, Ethan Mitchell in third, Dason Persley in fourth, Jacob Boxell in fifth. Again, those 5 on to the feature event. Blake Brandon, Jake Robinson, Tom Payette. Unofficially rounding out your field. The theme tonight, first time heat race winners on the season. Should have taken the left turn at Albuquerque, but he'll find his way down into the infield. And Genevieve going to get a word with our heat race winner here in just a moment.
Thanks, Brian. Our Cookout 4 heat race winner is Corbin Rosenberg. And Corbin, this is your first ever heat race win. How big of a confidence boost is it to not only be during NOS Energy Drink Midget Week for this feature to get some confidence?
Yeah, I think that was the confidence booster we needed right there after sneaking it up in qualifying. But yeah, I'm still just didn't really feel happy with the car in qualifying and made some adjustments. Felt better, but we just need to be a little bit better with car adjustments and a little bit of driver. But I'm feeling great right now. I feel like, we have a lot of speed, just need to get a little more so we can be up with the top guys. But huge thanks to CBC Steel Buildings, Arizona Electric Garage Doors, Zach Dawn for helping out, Alex Rupert, my dad, and everyone who helps out on the board.
Congratulations, Corbin Rosenberg, a night for many firsts as he takes away his first heat race win.
Thank you very much. That'll wrap up heat race action for the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Sprint cars returning back to the Speedway, a B feature for these drivers. Quick hello on the broadcast to Miss Shirley Roberts back in Oklahoma. Of course, the Sharp Advantage. Dave Sharpley checking in here on the broadcast as well.